to the Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast, episode 190, A New Beginning.
Wait, isn't it 191?
Oh.
You're out of your fucking mind. You've been on the sun too long.
Son of a
Jason
bitch.
Voorhees is dead.
It is 191. Holy fuck. Oh.
And I guess it is a new beginning, too, which we fucked up out of the gate. So nothing's really changed.
Perfect. Right, yeah. Some new beginning. The new beginning is, Brandon's not here. He won't be here. So it's a new beginning in that respect. But nothing else is fucking, yeah. Here we are. So, well, me dropping the ball. Obviously. It's always me. Try to do something fucking funny or clever. Forget about it. Although, a new beginning, yeah. I mean, but still, how about this one? How about So,
what are you screaming?
Because I'm just screaming, and shaking my head like Corey in that scene. Corey Feldman, of course, not
When he's frozen in fear in the rain.
Yes. All I picture is B. It could be him now, right? That's his nightmare. He's dreaming, and at the end, instead of Jason coming out of the fucking grave, it's you and I with a computer and a fucking microphone.
Record with us. Record. No, I don't want
shaking his head.
No.
That's him.
Well,
oh man, amazing! I'll tell you.
But
it is.
But this is it. We I guess it's more official now than ever. But before, there was that glimmer of hope that it was going to happen. But I mean, we've got some great ideas, and I obviously it sounds like the listeners are on board. It'll be interesting. I still think it's great that there's a whole contingent of people that are listening to the show that are not patrons, that don't have access to the new episodes, that are just listening to the ones that are coming up, that are a good pretty much a year behind, if not a little bit longer. And Brandon's there,
right?
Hunky dory.
It is funny because some people are commenting on things, and I hear you. They listen on the.
I love the chemistry of you three. Just you wait, listener.
Right. What's going to happen? And the thing is, just everyone basically agrees, don't bring on a permanent third host. So, which we're relieved about because we don't want to either. So it's like, okay, wonderful. So, I mean, not wonderful. In fact,
that if we do bring one on, we're thinking it's Junior. Junior might actually be the third host.
Junior and Lucky.
Another talking dick.
Oh, speaking of talking dicks, oh my God, this fucking dog got me again. This fucking
you
dog
shit on
got
the floor?
This dog, and I figured it out.
Right out of the gate with the shit on
the floor. Well, no, things have been wonderful with her. Now I can't walk her anymore because I hurt my foot, so I can't be seen. I had everything to a science.
I can't be seen in public. I don't mean to derail you, but you're talking about that foot. Halloween came and went. Happy belated, everybody.
Yeah.
What
a time.
Dave and I were supposed to get together that weekend. The goal was the initial goal, the major big picture was that we were supposed to go to Frightmare in the Falls during the day on Saturday, then meet up with Heather and Scott, who went to Haunted Manor that night. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of this blame, actually a lot of the blame. I kept dragging my feet because I was like, my family's schedule is off the charts this weekend. And Carrie kept saying, don't worry about it. We've got it handled. I've got it handled. Don't worry. I'm like, I don't think it's all going to align. I think you're sad. If I'm gone from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m., which I've been gone longer for work, but it just is for that particular day, that Saturday, there was so much happening that I'm like, I don't think it's going to happen. But you hurt your foot.
Yeah.
You also didn't really know if you wanted to be out super, super late to go to the Halloween thing as well. So we both just said, well, I don't know if this is going to happen. Now, Scott and Heather still said I was welcome to come and join them for the Haunted Manor part at night. But I just said, you know what? Christian decided to throw a Halloween party. It was a crazy weekend. And I just felt bad leaving my wife with kids and just like, hey, see you later. And hightailing it out of there.
I get you.
So there was a combination of factors that we didn't go, but the bum foot. I don't think Heather and Scott know about your bum foot or your bum leg, which is one of the reasons why we didn't even entertain the idea of the Saturday during the day.
Oh, they don't know.
Well.
Maybe I should have told
I don't think
them.
they know.
Or
Yeah.
maybe I did, and I forgot.
We just canceled on them. We just gave them like a last minute cancellation of.
Oh,
hey,
shit. I should tell them then. I do talk with them frequently enough in chat. When's the last time I talked?
I don't even know if I put it into chat. I just said we weren't coming because I said initially you were going to come to the Halloween haunt, which is a bunch of horror, I guess haunted houses, hay rides and shit like that. That you weren't going to come to that aspect, but that we were hopefully still going to Frightmare in the Falls, which I've heard mixed things about. I heard, there are a lot of last minute cancellations as usual. The door prices, the tickets at the door were significantly higher than what you purchased online. So I'm kind of glad. Like it turned out to be like what I thought was going to be like, $29 to get in was $50 just to get into the place.
Oh, fuck.
And I'm like, fuck that.
Then if I want to meet Ginny and fucking Alice for that matter, because I wouldn't not meet Alice, but I'm there for fucking Ginny first and foremost. But I love Alice too, but there's no question you're not gonna keep me from fucking Ginny. I'm so bummed out because I seen photo.
Even if I have to drink a bottle of Crystal Lake wine to get to her, that's all. I think that's all Alice is hawking is her Crystal Lake wine. So she's.
Oh, hey, Alice, yeah, she loves it. Good on her. Good on all of them for being able to fucking make a living. I don't know about making a living. Well, I mean,
hey,
let me tell you.
Did it? I think know what I get it. I gotta think about it I don't even have to think about it hard. I would have milked it too. But I was first Jason. I was Jason in the original one.
No fucking shit.
I would have definitely done it. No different in Warrington Gillette. I know that there was a Steve Dash Warrington Gillette thing. Again, if I was on the set, if I'm in some pictures of the production, if people say that that's the Jason that I know, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I was Jason.
He's in the credits. He's in the fucking credits.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sitting here, trying to glamorize Warrington Gillette. I promise you I'm not. You know what I mean?
The man can get.
Awesome. So
I think we cracked that joke before.
Buddy,
that's fine.
But I feel you. I would milk the fuck. I'll tell you what. If it meant, here's the thing about 2 points. If I'm Ari Lehman, 100%. I'm going to fucking milk it. As a matter of fact, if I can make a living off it and that be my only fucking job, I would be fucking thrilled to do it. I would do everything I could 7 days a week.
Jason Inc.
Instead of having a real job, I would much rather just fucking promote that I'm first Jason the rest of my life. So I can't give the guy a hard time about that. But what I can give him a hard time about is at least watch the fucking franchise, educate yourself on some things, and know something about the franchise. How hard is it to watch them? Seriously, how hard? Even if you think they're bad movies, fine, you're not a horror fan at all. Sit the fuck down, watch the whole thing up to the remake. Watch the fucking movies, familiarize yourself, read up on it, know something besides a fucking 3-second jump that happened in that movie. When every time they ask you about it,
does he not know the series? I don't even know much about it. I just like making jokes about first Jason.
Between Warrington Gillette and between fucking him, anytime they're asked on a panel about their favorite scene, it's always the fucking scene they were in or their favorite thing about. So obviously, they're not.
I love how the people keep asking him. They're like, it's going to change. What's your favorite scene now in 2022? It's when I jumped out of the canoe and grabbed Alice and pulled her in.
Yeah. Same fucking thing. Yeah. Same shit. And the thing is this, if you're first Jason, I mean, how stupid. Who's worse? Well, the fan is the worst. Why would you bring a hockey mask to fucking Ari Lehman? A fucking boy that jumped out of the water before he even got not even the sack. Some seaweed.
Or whatever the shit, the moss, whatever the fuck
Buddy,
throwing on his face.
You can get that fucking famous picture anywhere of him like this with the mouth open. That fucking thing, there's the animated version. They're on shirts. They're on posters. You could get these things. Get that and bring it to. Now, again, if I'm Ari Lehman and some guy gives me a hockey mask, what am I going to say? Fuck off? Of course I'm going to sign it. You're paying for it. But I guess so. I can't blame him for that either. I can blame the fucking idiocy of the fans. I hate to say it, but that's what I have to do.
If they're going to the stupid fans.
I hate to do this, but if you're going to pedestal somebody, do it for the right reason. Don't just do it because of name only, because he jumped out and some girl fell out of a canoe.
Yeah. We didn't find any boy.
What the
That's how
fuck,
it should have
Ari?
kept. Ari Lehman should have never surfaced again. We'd have found a boy.
So I can't get
Anyway,
mad. I can't get mad at him.
I
I guess.
you have a bum foot, and I guess
Oh,
talking about Ari
fuck.
Lehman.
So the foot now, and I did contact them.
And a
By the
bad
way,
dog.
I looked up my Heather Scott thing.
You got two
Right,
bad
so-
dogs.
Woo! So I did tell him. See, I said, looks like you guys are having fun already. Sorry I couldn't come up. I'm sad about it. Hurt my foot last week at work, and I'm off for 2 weeks. Can't be walking around. Bad timing for me. Enjoy your time together, kids. So I did.
Oh, so you did.
Talk. Yeah.
Good.
So they know. They know. So there
They
you go.
just
I didn't think. I don't think I would be that type of person to not reach out and something like that. But you never. My mind is. I'm forgetful, so I wouldn't do it. Just like, dude, people send me emails. People send me things like if I'm at work or if I'm at the time, I have this habit, and maybe I'm an asshole for it, but I'm doing it because it's an OCD thing for me, where I don't like having notifications on my fucking screen. It's a thing I don't like. So anytime, like right now, if I get
it's like OCD almost.
yeah, if I get a notification right now, like if someone messages me in Messenger, I gotta fucking do that just to touch it, just to clear it, and then set it down, and then hopefully I remember to go back later and fucking address it. But I don't always do that. Same thing with emails. Sometimes I get emails sent to us, and I don't respond that I want to. I'm not, because I'm very, very big on common courtesy. And when someone doesn't extend me common courtesy, I downright fucking, I don't say anything to them, but I am angry about it. Like I've said it before, if I send you an email, like bloody disgusting a couple of times about joining the network at one point, and I don't even get a fucking, I don't like, I just think it's, I think it's rude, especially if you're a business. If you're selling anything, you better have common courtesy in the business world, and you should just have it just as a human being. So if I forget something, I feel shitty, but I honest to God, would just forget. Like people sometimes respond on Patreon and this and that, and I want to respond, or YouTube, and sometimes I just forget, and I do feel bad. So if that ever does happen to anybody out there listening, I 100% I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm just a dumbass with OCD. I'm sorry.
But that's fine. And I agree with you about the just a response. Just, hey, we're not interested. Hey, thanks for reaching out, but we're going a different route. Whatever it may be. No differently than if you're applying for a job. Just to have closure on the situation. It's common courtesy is right. But yeah.
And there's loonies. There's fucking loonies out there that if you don't respond, they're gonna keep hitting you up. Well, right though. I'm sure it's happened to you from a listener or some other fucking weirdo in the community that if you don't respond, they're just going to keep fucking talking to you until you do respond. So why not? It's like little kids. And I never understood this about parents. I'm not saying I'm father of the year or the decade, but even before I knew I was going to have a child, I knew for a fact that when my little kid, because I always see parents doing it, I would always see it back in the day. It's something I see. When I have a kid, when I see children trying to get their parents' attention, mom, dad, hey, and this one time, hey, guess what? And the parent just thinks that they're going to ignore them and the kid's going to fucking stop. It does not fucking work. And then you get mad and then you end up blowing your top. Why not just take that? And I'm telling you, as a father, I've always done this. When my daughter fucking says something, wants my attention, no matter what I'm doing, even if I'm angry, I could be having a conversation like right now. She could be younger and trying to get my attention. I would say, yeah, honey, what's up? What's the matter? You know what I mean? Because why put up with that fucking daddy? Just shut the fuck up. That's annoying. So you don't want to say that to them. So why not
talk to your kid? I'm going to talk to your kid for it.
You know what? Seriously, just like
with my shoe to his face.
Just fucking address it, and it goes away. It goes away. The kid gets his spills their guts.
Isn't it funny that if the kid would be doing that to the dad constantly, or the mom, or whatever like that,
and
they won't pay attention? The second I kick that kid, that parent is up and attentive all of a sudden.
You know what? That's what we should do. Not kick the kid, but answer for the father. Well, that would be fun. If you're at a store and you see a kid tugging on his dad's shirt, daddy, and the guys, especially these days, everybody on their godmother fucking phones, that they'd rather be in their phones than pay attention to their kids, cocksuckers. Doing that, it's like I'm just gonna go over to
one of those.
I'm gonna go over to the kid and answer for him. I'm just gonna say, Yeah, well, can I help you, son? Just to piss off the father. I seriously would like to do that. I never would because I'm just...
Sir. You just start pulling this shit. Sir. You know how quickly that guy will pay attention to you?
Right?
And then he goes, why are you touching me? I just wanted a social experiment, sir. You weren't paying attention to your kid, so I thought I'd try the same thing and see what happened. It's just a social experiment. Like I said, you can get away with murder as long as it's a social experiment.
Well, there you go. I'm going to start doing it.
That. Sorry, officer, social experiment. Oh, move along.
Yeah, that's it. Move along. It's all fantasy. Ultimately, this is all fantasy. In real world, like I say this all the time, and I said this not too long ago in chat, because I was going to, something else I was going to at the end of September, was going to go to Cinema Wasteland with the fucking 22 Shot guys and girls. You know what I mean? I was going to go hang out there. It's not far.
It looked like there was a good time with it.
Of course it was. And I wanted to go, but it's a tough month for me financially, the toughest month, honestly. So it's a bad time for me to attempt to do anything outside of fucking, living and paying my taxes. So it was a tough thing. I couldn't go, and I was telling them, they were talking about seeing people in real life and how this is going to be in this, and just in the chat, I was like, I'm telling you right now, the way I am, you have no idea how I am in real life. You think that you know me now? I'm like 1,000 times sweeter in real life. What you hear me on podcasts and everything else, me blowing off steam and this and that, in the real world, I'm fucking docile as a fucking dormouse. Believe me, all I try to do is to be kind and polite.
What's a dormouse?
I don't know. It just sounds like something. What is a dormouse? Was it the dormouse in fucking isn't it the guy in Alice in Wonderland that they fucking have to dose with the fucking thing? That he's all flipping out and they put the jelly on his nose and it calms down. Isn't that the dormouse?
Oh, maybe. I'd have to look it up.
Let's see, dormouse. Dormouse, Alice in Wonderland. Dormouse. See?
So it's
dormouse.
Alice in Wonderland.
Well, no, that's the third thing. There's dormouse, meaning crossword clue, and just dormouse. Let's see. Any of numerous small, nocturnal, furry-tailed old world rodents that live mainly in trees and resemble small squirrels. Note, dormice hibernate during cold weather and may become torpid at the times of the year when food is scarce. See, that's a dormouse. It's just a little tiny mouse.
Oh,
I don't know.
So like a field mouse. House mouse.
Okay. Now, but you know the dormouse from Alice in Wonderland, right?
You know what? I don't remember. By you slightly or describing it there, vaguely remember. It's not
okay.
Alice in Wonderland's not something I've watched like since my childhood.
Oh my God, you're missing out. See, this is him. He comes down, fucking
twinkle, twinkle. I saw the Tim Burton one.
Little cat. You see him? He's in an umbrella. He's coming down. He's fucking like high. See, look at him. Look at him in the teacup. Look at his fucking eyes. He's stoned as fuck. Stoned as fuck, the dormouse. So I don't know where docile as the dormouse came from, but I just pulled it out because I'm fucking weird like that. So yeah, but I told him, I said, I'm so kind. I go, you won't even know it to me because you hear me on podcasts and maybe some things in the past I've said online, but ultimately that's just fucking, in the way I talk now about wanting to do this, that's just fantasy. There's no way in real life I give anybody a hard time. I want to. I don't have the heart. Just like I always tell my wife, and she'll tell you that. He has the fucking mind of a fucking mastermind criminal. He's so good at fucking shit, but does not have the heart to commit the crime. And that's the thing. That's how I figure shit out all the time. I watch shows and
or
I'm
the
like,
money.
Well, yeah.
You got the money.
Too. We know this. Yeah, that's true. Anyway, I'm sidetracking. Back to the foot. Okay.
Sorry, guys. I thought he'd forget.
Yeah, well, let me get it over with once and for all. So, my feet are fucked. I got flat feet. They're fucked. Bottom line, any day, and I
flat feet too, but I don't have a big boot on it.
I had the
It's not funny.
I had the flattest.
I'm a
hold on.
flat-footed fuck.
I have the flattest feet in the world. That's what the fucking orthopedic fucking person told me once. Anyway, flat as fuck. So the thing is this, but I have a job that consists of a lot of walking. So at any given time, and I've been on my feet all my life at just about every job, but at any given time, I could come home with soreness in fucking any part of my foot, either foot, whatever. I got fucking issues. Now, a couple weeks ago, I'm at work. There was a lot of rain. I'll make it short. I fell down a fucking flight of stairs. I was at the top of a flight of stairs to go into someone's basement. I slipped at the fucking thing. I did one of these. I grabbed it, and I fucking came down, and my foot
Shoes fell off.
And exactly. Dude, I was thinking that last night. I was laying in bed, almost laughing about it because I was thinking, well, my brother and my buddy, Scott, they were telling me the other day, they go, you might have a settlement in this. So I wasn't even thinking about a settlement. But anyway, I was thinking about last night. I was thinking about that. I was like, holy fuck, isn't that what happened to fucking Saul Rosenberg? He fucking fell down the stairs and he was trying to get a settlement.
Yeah. Sue who? Sue everybody.
Yeah. I'm a lawyer. Why do you want to sue me? Punitive damages here. I'm a lawyer. Why do you want to sue me? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just so upset. Oh, I love that. So, but I did
sue me.
Slip.
Yeah, sue everybody.
Sue me. I'm a lawyer. Why do you want to sue me? Oh, I love that fucking one. So my shoe did not fall off, but I did slip up on the top of the fucking stairwell, and I fucking fell down, and when I landed, my left foot fucking ended on the edge of a step, and I fucking boom right in the middle, and fucking down. Now I'm fucked. Instant pain. Now I go to the doctor, sprain, and you have a bone spur on your heel. The bone spur on my heel is a motherfuck. I cannot fucking walk on this fucking thing without pain. Cannot walk. So they give me crutches. I'm doing this, that, getting around. And, it's like I was walking on my tippy toes around the house just to not put pressure on the heel. And by doing that, I fucked up other parts of my body. Now my hip hurts and my fucking Achilles start hurting because walking on your tiptoes is not what I'm used to doing. I'm using other fucking tendons and shit, and I'm fucking my body up. So I stopped doing that, and I decide, okay, I'm going to try every day to walk a little bit on my heel and see what happens. Well, every time I do that, maybe I'll take fucking 200 steps in the day, just going from room to room. You know what I mean? I'll walk on my heel, and I'll try to walk like a normal person. And the next day, sore as fuck. And it's fucking bad. Now, this is 200 to 300 steps. At my job, I walk anywhere between 15 and fucking 33,000 steps. How the fuck am I supposed to? So I got to go to the doctor tomorrow.
A house or a business?
A house. Somebody's house.
How did you slip?
Well, there was a whole fucking bunch of rain. It was a real rainy day, and I walked into the door. And here's the funny part: dude flagged me down. His door was supposed to be unlocked. He had a basement meter, and the notes in my handheld thing says side door unlocked. Well, I went to the side door. He had a fucking garbage can in front of it, and he had a recycle bin. Pulled him back. Door was locked, so I locked it up. Door locked. Can't get in. Okay. Continued on my way. Now, because the rain is so hard, I have my work truck near me. Usually on a book like this, I'll just walk for fucking 2-3 straight hours and I'll come back to my truck. But because there was rain coming hard on and off, though, I kept the vehicle near me so when there's a downpour, I could just run to the vehicle. Okay? So only because this was a perfect storm for this to happen. Only because I locked this guy's up. I wasn't going to read it. And I was like 4 or 5 houses later down that street, and then the rain came down even harder. I got back to my vehicle, and I was going to go to a different section, or at least sit out. So I start my car, I'm about to get fucking moving somewhere else. Guy pulls up to me, and I'm like, fuck. Because anytime a customer goes out to, it's going to be some bullshit that 9 times out of 10 you're not going to have an answer to. Oh, you're nice. I want you to. Could you help these guys come out here? They're worried about this pole might fall one time, or anyway, shit has got nothing to do with me. It always happens. Yeah. So anyway, sure off this fuck off. Yeah, you want to say that, right? So the guy comes up, rolls down his window. I got to roll down the window. Now it's a downpour. And he asked me, he goes, what were you doing outside my house? Yeah, I get that a lot too. Imagine how I feel when I go in their backyard and they say, can I help you?
My house. Jacking off in the bushes, sir.
Yeah. I'm planning a murder.
Should have a nice little cedar growing there next year. I don't know why you're shooting cedar seed, but that's fine. Right. Man, I would sue in principle now. Sue everybody.
Sue everybody. So now
sue that whole section.
This fucking guy. So he flags me down. Why you? What were you doing outside my house? I said I was reading your meters. He goes, my meters are inside. I said, okay. I said, do you have gas and electric? He says, yes. And I said, well, that means most likely that you have 1 meter outside and 1 meter inside. So I was reading the outside meter. And he says, okay, what about the inside? I go, well, if I didn't see you, that means I didn't come in your house. You probably didn't answer your door. I said, do you live right over there? He says, yes. I said, do you want me to come and read the meter? Yes. Okay. So now the guy comes. He's got the key to the side door.
So fucking cryptic.
Opens it up. Come over. Now the rain's coming down. I get over to his place. He opens the door. And you know how like when you first walk in a door at some houses, when the house is smaller, you have a side door. And as soon as the door opens, you kind of have like a square, like it's just part of the house. It's just a square thing behind the door. And there's like maybe one step up will take you into like a doorway that leads to like their kitchen or something like that. And then immediately to the left is their basement stairs. That's what this was. So the guy came in. First, obviously, it's his house. He opens the door, comes back, he pulls back, but he doesn't go off the step into the kitchen. He stays there. So I don't have a whole lot of room, but I have enough room just to get in to go down the stairs. So he stays on that top thing. Well, the top thing is there. It's like an old carpet. So ultimately, and here's the worst part. These are like fucking brand new work boots. They're only 2 weeks old. So the boots are in perfect condition. It wasn't like they were old or anything.
New boots, work
I've
boots.
never slipped all these years.
Checking everything off here.
I've never fucking slipped in 3 years there. The only time I have slipped, I don't know if you know about this stuff, but there's this stuff people sometimes put over their driveway and it makes it look real smooth. Almost dude, that stuff is fucking deadly as fuck in the wintertime because you can't see it and it's extremely slippery. And if there's snow and you step on a driveway, you're not expecting it to be slick that way. So I have fallen once or twice on those. Other than that, I've never just fucking slipped and fell. So I get to the top
of the stairs.
Right. So I just proceed as normal. I'm about to go into this fucking guy's thing and read his meter, and it's not even a long flight of stairs, maybe 12 steps. But whatever. I come up, and my fucking left foot went up under me, and I slipped, and I fucking grabbed for a fucking railing that was on the right side, a small wooden railing, and I slipped on the railing, hit my fucking elbow, did one of these, and then I fucking went down, and I just, like I said, it happened so quick, I can't even describe what happened. Was I airborne? I must have been. And it's weird because they're asking me at work, and I understand they have to, and insurance and the doctor. I get it. But it's so hard to recall because it happened so fucking quick in the blink of an eye.
The guy wasn't inside? You said he was there. Did he not see this happen?
Well, I don't think he saw. I think he was behind the door, maybe looking in. I don't know, honestly, what the fuck he was doing. It's not my concern. I'm just trying to go down there quick and get but he did hear me when I fell. My foot landed on the edge of a fucking step, right? And instant pain. So now this happens. The guy hears me, goes, hey, because I'm down there immediately in pain, and I'm laying down on my side on his fucking steps. And I'm like, this and that. And, he apologized. I said, it's not your fault, isn't it?
Corey Feldman at the beginning of the show.
Right, yeah. No! Right. So, holding my feet.
I gotta work.
Oh, fuck. So anyway.
Shit that we find funny.
That's what happened. I know. So that's what happened. I go to the fucking quick care out here. They say, you got a sprain and you got a fucking a bone spur in your heel. And stay off your feet, whatever the fuck. Come back in 6 days, we'll reevaluate you. One thing led to another. And then I actually saw a doctor a few days after that. And she immediately said, you're not going to work for fucking 2 weeks. Stay off it. Don't fucking do it. Try to do this little exercise you said with it at night. But don't be on your feet. You shouldn't be on your feet because they wanted me to come in to do desk work. But anyway, that's another fucking story. She says, nope, stay home. She fucking did the thing. So now I'm on workers' comp, which works out wonderfully because when I was out for COVID, I was on something else. And this other thing, it paid me 85% of my pay. It's like basically short-term disability. It paid me 85% of my pay, but it taxed me, right? So a lot came out still. So the checks were smaller. These checks on workers' comp, because I have a union, thank goodness, we get 85% as opposed to 2/3, like what most fucking workers' comp pays. So I get 85%. Here's the difference. They don't tax it. So my checks are actually fatter than they usually are. The negative is
you get
nothing's going into the 401k. You know what I'm saying?
Well, nothing goes into that, but what about your, do you get smoked come tax time? Like,
apparently not. Apparently when you're on workers' comp, it's fucking non-tax, and that's all there is to it.
Okay. Yeah,
so
that's fine.
Right. So now I have to go back again to the doctor tomorrow and tell them basically what I told you, that I just cannot fucking walk. Please. I don't know if they can operate on this bone spur. I don't know what they can fucking do. Can they shoot me up with cortisone every 3 months? I don't know. And I also don't know if what they're going to say is, hey, What is it? What is there something that you're going to have to fucking get an attorney involved in it? Something like this? Is something going to happen? I don't know. That's not what I'm aiming to do. Believe me, I want to be back at work because I want to be working my overtime. I want to fucking be out there. Granted, this money coming in is more than it's like I work a day overtime. That's how much money's coming in. But nothing's going into 401k. So there's a negative there. I'd like to have it. And within a year, I should be promoted to that desk job that I want. I'm one fucking promotion away from it. I'm right there at the top of the ladder. So, and once I get a desk job,
everybody read between the lines. It's one cup in the ball blowjob away.
No question. I would blow one dick a week for the next fucking 20 weeks for that fucking job. And it's not even that much more money. It's like, it's like, hold on, let me think about this. It's like $17 more an hour. I'll tell you that. So I guess it is more money. I mean, it's significant, but still, sure I would. But anyway,
one homeless a week.
Now I'm bugging the fuck out because I don't want anyone to see me walking at all. Even if I'm just walking on my heels. You know how it is at workers' comp.
What about if you're walking on sunshine? I'm sorry.
I wish I were.
I apologize.
That's great. So, but now I'm bugging because I'm like, well, I don't know what's going to happen with this workers' comp, but now I'm afraid to even throw out the garbage, anything, just to be seen walking without crutches in public anywhere. I'm afraid to because you know how that is. I can get they come after you. I mean, maybe it's different in Canada, but I know that, insurance fraud and shit like that, that's a big thing. People try to fucking milk it and not work and sit at home. I get it.
Bedridden. I mean, I get what you're saying. You don't want to feel like you're taking advantage, which you're not, but you're also, you got to live your life, but it's very difficult. I guess, yeah, you're making sure you're playing by the rules, which is fine. It's not a bad thing, but at the end of the day, you got to be able to get your shit when you need to get your shit.
Well, I can't walk the dog and I won't go anywhere. I told my wife and daughter now the other day, I said, I will not go in a store. I'll go to a fucking curbside, but I don't want to risk even though I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm walking on my tiptoes, you know what I mean? Slowly, you know what I'm saying? To go into a small store to pick up a few things and get out. But even if they see that, it's like, well, he's walking here. Clearly he can walk at work. No, clearly no. The difference between taking fucking, 60 steps in a store or fucking walking all day on your job is completely different. But to be on the safe side, to err on the side of caution, and I got bad luck, I don't want to fucking jeopardize, so I'm not walking my dog. No, and the dog will only walk shit when I walk her. We've been through this, I told you. So now my wife comes home. She's home for 5-6 days. Fucking overstuffs her. I figured it out. She's as much of the problem as the dog is, right? When I'm here walking her, I had a perfect thing. Her turds were this one turd that big as my fucking index finger. My wife comes. Now she's back to what she usually does. She takes fucking 2 shits a day, giant turds like I do in my toilet. Do you think maybe you're fucking overstuffing this animal? You think maybe this is the problem? And I figured it out. Now I go to bed last night, and I can't fucking sleep for some reason. And at one point I get up. Lucky is like in the room, but he doesn't want to be in the room, but he doesn't want to leave the room without me because he's a baby. So I'm like, okay, I'll walk out. He'll follow me. He'll go downstairs, and eventually I'll just have to come back upstairs and leave him out here because that's just the way it is with him sometimes. He's a real baby, and Mama just left. So anyway, so this is what's happening. So I get up. I go downstairs. In my living room is fucking, and I step in it in my bare foot. I thought because it was dark. I thought it was like just something on the ground, like a leaf, because I had the window open earlier because it was hot. So I moved it with my foot. Sure enough, I literally fucking step in fucking shit. And I felt it right away. You gotta be fucking kidding me, this fucking dog. Now I know something is amiss because Oreo, my cat, cats are so smart. I could tell when I walked into that room because Oreo wasn't in the chair where he usually sleeps in. He was sitting there and he was just kind of looking at me. I'm like, something is up. Why is he not fucking, something's up. He's trying to tell me something's wrong. Sure enough, there's shit in the fucking living room. So now I do that. Now, Ginny, who hangs out in the basement a lot, come where I am right now. She sleeps like fucking right here, right? Or here on this pillow. She comes upstairs when she hears me in the kitchen, and then she just looks at me. And I could tell by her looking at me that something is fucking amiss in the basement. I knew it. She's trying to tell. So I go down, I walk in the base. As soon as I look, there's fucking shit on the basement floor too. So this dog, 2 fucking giant man-sized fucking turds, one on a living room rug, by the way. Predicament. Yeah, the rug, which fucking now I gotta fucking find a way to clean it, and on the floor in the basement, which basically has just become her toilet. I'm so miserable. My fucking room is basically just a dog's toilet now. That's where I fucking am in life. You know, I get so mad about it.
Can I have
But
the
here's the
VHS
thing.
tapes?
I know. It's gonna be shit. I should put the VHS tapes on the bottom of the stairs, and then when she shits on them, take a picture.
Yeah, you're sniffing them, yeah.
And
Instead
then
of smashing VHS, dipping them in shit. You display them in just each turn.
Holy
It's like a new display. Yeah.
fuck! I gotta sell them.
300 meat hook dipped in shit. Just for that one guy that loves 300 meat hook so much. I don't know The Grudge.
Oh my god, dipped in shit. Oh, shit dipped.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh man.
So
Oh, that sucks. But it's funny. Funny to us.
it all sucked and it's all funny. What can I say? It's fucking this foot thing, this dog thing. I don't even get mad at the dog anymore. I don't even say a damn thing. Even this morning, I tried to let her out this morning and last night. She will not. Something's going on in that backyard. She's bugging the fuck out. And I don't know why. And of course, fucking my wife indulges. Oh, Bailey's afraid. Something's going on in the backyard. She will only pee out there. She won't shit. Great. Well, you fuckers enjoy walking her, because I can't.
Yeah.
That's the one good thing
Look
that's
at
come out of
Super.
all this. I can't walk the dog anymore. You know what? Fuck off. Don't ask me to walk the dog, because I'm not going to. And I'm not going to let her run my life.
Well, we don't have any dog walking videos.
I know.
Walk the
I did have a
dog.
video on Halloween, though. I did a video in the EH page, the regular page, because they didn't tell me to do it on the Patreon page. You're lucky if fucking 2 people see. So I just put the videos in the other one.
Fucking patrons.
And by the way, people listen.
Which we love. We just love you.
We love you.
Sorry. By the way, what?
If you are not in the fucking group page or in the group chat on Messenger on Facebook, let us know, because we have so many comings and goings in this thing that not everybody knows, and I don't always post it, and I know some people
You
may
have to be a friend to get in. That's the one caveat. Like you have to friend one of us so that we can let you in. And I've been very bad. It's not that I'm not been on Facebook, but I haven't written anything. So I haven't checked my friends list or whatever. And sometimes I just clean it out. I don't even realize, oh shit, maybe these are patrons wanting to get in there. So feel free to, you're not bugging me. Feel free to message me or message Dave, because I really don't pay attention to a lot of that stuff all the time too. So we're not trying to leave anybody out.
Right, and I'm on Messenger all the time, even if I'm off Facebook, which I really am at my fucking wit's end right about now, where I want to come off, but I'm using it more to promote all the podcasts I'm doing, because I'm doing so many, and I'm doing some things that frankly I think are actually good. So I'm kind of fucking putting it out there, saying, hey, check this out. If you see me fucking really pimping something, it's because I think it's good. I mean, I think everything I do is fine, but
I saw you pimping your own shows.
Every so often, I know, but I try not to fucking be invasive about it. Like
I know.
Right. No, I'm just saying, sometimes I do something and I say, you know what? That's something I want people to hear. This is something that you know, I think was good and should be heard, and I think people would like it. So I will put it out there. But I really am ready to get off now. I guess if I could just stay in the horror thing, but I kind of got into the habit of scrolling down the feed. And for a while it was fine. Then there was the whole Halloween Ends fiasco, and that was not even that bad. Now they're onto this new thing, and everybody's talking about this fucking Elon Musk and Twitter, and I'm ready to fucking shove my finger down my throat and puke. Because number one, I don't know what's going on with it, nor do I care to. I don't even legit know who this fucking Elon Musk cat is. I just know he's rich and he buys things. And I don't know what the beef is with it. And guess what? I don't want to know, nor do I care. I don't care if fucking Adolf Hitler rose from the fucking grave and he's really running Facebook. I don't give a fuck who owns anything I use. I do not, because most rich people are fucking bad anyway. So most rich people own things. So if I'm buying a Hyundai, or if I'm watching a fucking a Sony, or if I'm fucking putting on a fucking whatever, American fucking Gap t-shirt, whoever owns all these things is probably a fucking bastard. So whether or not you know it or not, I don't know, but I am not going to fucking condemn people for shit that if I'm not in the room, that's the problem with the world today. And I'll sum it up there. Everybody acts as if they know everything, like they're in the room when all these things happen. Like, how do you know? You know what you hear, but were you there? Were you in the fucking room when this was supposedly said, or when this guy said execute this order, or this or that? Probably not. So
No,
I don't know.
and
Relax.
again, I'm only speaking on the Elon Musk thing just because I think I've brought it up on the show before. It's just like
I don't even know what he's done.
Opening up Tesla, SpaceX, Tesla, PayPal.
I've
He's
heard
been involved with
Tesla.
everything.
I thought it was a car. Is it a car?
Yeah. Haven't you not heard Tesla?
Yeah, Tesla the car, right?
Yeah.
So he owns that.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. And
Big fucking deal. So he's like Henry
Ford. He's the richest man in the world right now. But
okay.
What it is that he bought Twitter for $44 billion or whatever Good
it was. On him.
I don't know. I don't understand why it was worth $44 billion, but that's not my concern either. But my thing is, I just don't feel like Twitter is that useful personally. But
it's extremely for promotion.
He keeps opening his mouth. It just fucking make cars. I made the joke before. Make cars. Do your shit. But he keeps wanting to open his mouth, and for some people, like it's just like Trump. For some people it works, and for other people it doesn't. I'm not even caring what political side Elon Musk is on. I don't even know.
I don't know, but I can guess. I can guess because I see the fucking crybabies, and I can guess that he's fucking right-leaning because I know how the fucking lefties are because they're fucking crybabies, and all they do is cry online. And again,
you're probably right, but it's not. I don't know if it's
maybe I'm wrong.
So much as it's just like he wants. And supposedly there's a bunch of deactivated accounts and they want access to them and he wants to charge a subscription fee for verified users. I don't give a shit because I'm not really on Twitter. So I just Twitter to me is useless. So I'm not on it. I don't know why I like Facebook. I like Facebook because we've established the community and the horror community that is on there. That's the reason I'm still on that. But I'm not that active other than to post when a new show drops or to like or comment on people that are in our communities shit, because sometimes there's some funny stuff out there and some cool things and some new news drops and whatever it may be, like the Friday the 13th show. Exactly like the show we kind of wanted.
Wow.
And again, I'm not saying it was us because I'm sure tons of people had this idea, but I like the idea of it not just being necessarily a prequel, but just being about everything. It sounds like it can be about everything. So you can have the backstory. You can have timelines as if they're concurrent with, 1980, 1985, like all that shit, like filling in time gaps. He joked about if this ran for 10 seasons, which he doesn't suspect, but who knows that, maybe they'll entertain the idea of going to space. I know that's what I say, but I know that that's not his focal point, but I'm just saying, wouldn't that be cool if it did expand that long, that he did end up being able to fill in those gaps and everything else.
Wow.
Hey, Jason's frozen at the beginning of Jason X. So there's a whole time frame there that you can kind of fill in and whatever it may be. So there's tons of material to work with. I don't care if we get a new movie or not. We've had these fan films ad nauseum for a bit. Like I said, I enjoyed some of the last one. I enjoyed, but I'm ready for some, legit Friday the 13th shit. And the fact that this is going to be done in a show format works for me. I love it.
Whew.
I'm excited.
I'm trying not to be excited because I don't want to be let down. So I'm trying not to be excited. I really am. But because I loved Hannibal and because it's this Fuller guy, and he said that he basically has 5 times the fucking budget for the Friday show as he did for all the episodes of Hannibal for each episode. I'm like, holy fuck, because Hannibal was gory. So I'm thinking, holy fuck. The possibilities. Ultimately, it's got to be written well. But again, Hannibal was written well. But this is Jason. I don't know how big a fan he is. I'd like to look into it. Does he really know the ins and outs? Is he like a Todd Farmer or people like us that could be on the inside? You know what I mean? That know it and love it. You know what I'm saying? Is he one of these fucking hardcore Friday fanboys that at least knows everything? If so, then I have faith in him. I just don't know. Anybody can say, well, I'm a Friday the 13th fan. Well, yeah, you know about Jason in a hockey mask. Maybe you know he wore a sack in part 2. You probably know about Mrs. Voorhees. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're a Friday the 13th fan. It doesn't necessarily. So I'm afraid I don't want the guy to pull a fucking Ronnie Yu on me and just ignore fucking whatever the fuck. Or Kelly. Maybe she'll come back in. Kelly who? I'll tell you what. all kidding aside, these people always do pop up in these fan films. How cool would it be if they did resurrect some of these people from the Friday franchise to have a bit part on the show now and again? I think that'd be awesome.
I still think it would have been great. Remember, we had all these ideas, and there's a ton of things going around. And he seems like such a fanboy too. That whether or not alumni come back, but you know what I mean. Like that would probably play into it. But you've got the prequel stuff, and like the joke about starting at Friday 8, or not even starting, but maybe they get up to that point where you're in New York. There's sirens all over the place. You have Rennie, or whatever her fucking name was, complaining about that boy, Jason. Did you find the boy? Man, we didn't find any boy. Or whatever, that he's still there. And then just like sort of restart the whole thing again, where they can go in a whole different direction, and then kind of fill in the gaps between part 8 and Jason Goes to Hell, or whatever. I'm just saying, there's so much that could be done with this.
Oh, man.
And I'm even talking about like this is like the really cool fan stuff, where I'm talking about beyond, like, obviously there's so much that we could do, that you could do lead up in prequel, her, poisoning the camp, the whole, like, the camp not opening, the fact that Jason is alive, what decides on what route they want to take. Was he always alive? Was there a fear that he drowned and there is something sort of supernatural, but they don't dwell upon it so much, but it's just that he ends up finding his way back to his mom, but her mom's so fucked up about it that she's like vowing never to have the camp open up again, which is the idea that we have. So that Jason is alive all this time, or is he dead and then he comes back to life? Like, there's so much that they can play around with. I really hope that they kind of keep him kind of alive and they work on that theory. And then you have a whole thing from birth to her working as a cook at the camp, to him drowning, to her making sure that place does not open for that whole time frame. There's like your first season right there. And you can just lead up to part 1 practically.
Well, right.
Now, the other thing, if they really are smart about it, they can jump timelines, like I was talking about.
Oh, man.
Where you can have like it start in the past, and then all of a sudden you're at Times Square or whatever, and it's in part 8. You're like, what the fuck? But then that's how they can keep the momentum going, where you're jumping between timelines. I guess now that they're able to use everything, because a lot of people thought it was just, Pamela, boy Jason, and that was it. But no, they've got the rights to use everything in TV format, and I think that's the best way to do it. Because there's so much you could explore there and take your time doing it. And hey, I'm all for it, as I said twice already.
I'm all for it too, but I still am trying to temper my expectations, because I want them to fill in the blanks too. Obviously, we've talked about this before. That'd be great. Let's get what I really want. And I don't know if this is going to come off bad, especially as a Friday fan, but what I really want is I want a whole lot of Pamela's Tale. I want that fucking all that beginning Pamela stuff. I don't want to see Jason for a long time. And I know people are going to say, that's fucked up. I said, especially after Halloween ends. See, for me, I want the build up to fucking Jason. I don't want fucking Jason unless, again, like you said, if they do American Horror Story style, where, 1947 and 1987, and they do back and forth, and they do present day. That's American Horror Story. They do that a lot in that show, and I love it for it. If they can do it that way, yes, but I really, really want to see the fucking Pamela's Tale, like the comic book, but more expanded a whole season on what she has to go through. Elias, what went down. I don't care if it's just a fucking drama. And there's, almost like, now here's the thing. What if they do it like Bates Motel? What if they set it in fucking modern day with 2022, Pamela fucking,
so funny.
Right? Pamela, whatever her name is. Well, I wouldn't hate it if it was done right, because think about Bates Motel. When Bates Motel started, and we're Psycho fans too, big time. Now, I was a little bit thrown off when it fucking began. Right? I'm like, wait a minute, this is fucking modern day? How you going to have fucking Norman Bates in modern day? But guess what? It ended up fucking working great. I loved fucking Bates Motel. So I'm open to the idea. But are these people smart enough? Not smart enough. Are they aware enough, like us, where they want to fill in blanks for the franchise? If so, this could be the greatest thing ever. If they ignore it, Anyway, what were you gonna say? You had something you were
No,
gonna show.
I just all hopped up, excited, and whatever. It's just to add on to what you're saying. I'm not. I will take whatever they give me, but I'm less excited about a Bates Motel style, like where they take the idea of the original but put it in modern day. For some reason, I like the established timeline. It doesn't have to follow 100%, but I guess if you're really going to feed into the fan base, you want to fix it up as much as you can. But so Preston DeFrancis had a little talk going on between Vince, Preston, and I. It's the exact last thing he posted here. I'm a little worried they won't actually do it in the proper time period. Sort of like how the show Bates Motel was a prequel to Psycho, but it was set in present day. I want an actual timeline fill-in, like Christian said. But that's because we've talked about it on this show. I've talked about it on TGIF. In fact, someone had reached out. Rob had reached out. He's listening to our show now. He's a patron and whatever. He mentioned that he was a few episodes behind on TGIF. He didn't realize that the feed had shifted. I guess I was not very good at explaining that when Horophilia went by the wayside, that I actually started a whole brand new feed, not realizing we could have done what we did with this show and just transfer the feed, which would have been so much easier and better. And I could have retained all the listens and all the reviews and everything. That feed is dead, and it's a whole brand new feed that started. So not that we've done that many shows. A new beginning. And it's going to be like a new beginning. It's been so long since we've done a show. But we had talked about it exactly what we're talking about now, and my exact talk track was exactly what we're talking about. Filling in those timelines. And I'm not against what you just said. Whole Pamela Anderson, I almost said Pamela Anderson.
Oh, I wish.
Again. Whole Pamela Voorhees opening that takes it from her point of view, so that we see the shit. Remember, so it's going to be a different actress, of course, but whoever plays Pamela, of course, imagine seeing the scenario B footage of her peering through the woods, but we hear Ned and everybody swimming and whatever. She's looking, she's got the ring on, and then her waiting for Ned to come into the cabin.
Shit.
Just taking that sort of scenario idea of putting it in her POV now, as opposed to how we were presented it from, the first movie, even though there is POV, but you know what I mean? Now we're seeing it from specifically her perspective, not the done it aspect. And we've got all of this stuff. They could still play with the timelines, and maybe we see baby Jason and whatever, but then maybe the reveal at the end of the first season is that Jason never died.
Okay, that would be awesome. I'm hoping that takes 2 seasons. No, I'm not even that. No, not even that. I'm hoping that at one point, the end of a season leads up to maybe season 2. It takes that long to build. At the end of season 2, it ends. The last fucking thing we see is basically Pamela driving in her Jeep, picking up fucking Annie. The other side of it. As the start.
All those scenarios. Well, that's in.
And that's where it ends. Credits roll. And we don't see Friday the 13th. We assume, okay, then next comes Friday the 13th, 1980. Then the next season is going to pick up after the events of Friday the 13th. And we're going to start filling in the gaps between 1 and 2, which is really what everybody wants. The things that everybody wants, okay, maybe not everybody, probably you and I want to see the most are the events between 1 and 2 and Pamela's story prior to fucking 1. I think that's the stuff people want to see, and I think it'd be great. Who do you think would be great to play a young Pamela?
Oh, young Pamela, yes.
Got to be young. It can't be.
I want Naomi.
Yeah, we can't do Naomi now. Now we got to do
I don't mind,
a 30-year-old.
Dude, I don't mind if they don't do what you're saying, where Naomi comes in to play the Pamela for the 1980 style aspect, and that's where the reveal could be. We could keep Jason dead, her maybe thinking it. They could still play around with that history. Maybe she's talking. Maybe it's very Psycho-esque, since it was kind of like that anyway. And then we realize that he's not dead. And then, for instance, Barry, is it Barry? Crosby's character,
Claudette.
That the one that got. No, that's Barry and Claudette. You're right. It's not Barry. I just watched this. Alice and the guy that gets pinned up with the arrow through his eye. Bill. Sorry, I drew
Bill.
So the fact that she screams the second she sees him. Watch that again, because I just did. We're going to talk about the 4K very shortly. But the door closes behind her. She doesn't know anything yet. The door just swings behind her. She turns and goes, ah! And screams. She doesn't know what's happened yet. She's barely had a glimpse at the fact that there's an arrow stuck through his eye or anything. She doesn't even know he's pinned up against the door. A door just swings, and she sees a corner of somebody there.
But he's high up.
But then he's high up. So all joking aside with that thing, because we've made jokes and references about how Pamela did it. What if she didn't do that? What if we see Jason do that? And she's like, okay, that's my good boy. So they retcon all of that, and so that he's maybe what they do is we play around with it so he's a little bigger now because he's grown as opposed to being the boy.
Well, sure.
But so when he pops out of the lake, that could be recreated and he's a little older. So it's just a little bit of a retcon, but she still refers to him as a boy, whatever it may be. But you could play around with that, have fun with it. They can copy certain things again, whether that's first season, second season, whatever it may be, doesn't mean they can't go back in the past. First season could be Pamela's tale, verbatim, but with the reveal that Jason has been alive all this time. Then they can go back in second season and go and tell the story of Pamela when she's younger and whatever. Yeah. And I don't know, to answer your question, what do you think? Anna Taylor? Too old? No. I guess you could.
I don't think anybody's too old because they could put her as any age between fucking 20 and 30 if they want, depending on when they want to say she was a young mother. You could put that at any time. You could create it any way you want. I think Anya Taylor would do this show? I don't think she would at this point. Alex Esso maybe, of course, who I really want.
A24 is involved.
So wow!
Some credit to it.
Miss Mia. Mia.
Some weight. Well, who knows? Mia is that's a good option too. That's a good option too.
That'd be some shit, man. God, if I could love it anymore and then put Mia in it, oh, my own. Wow.
But there's potential here, and I am obviously very giddy and very excited about it. So this is the thing, but this is what we want to talk about, and it could obviously be disappointing, but I'm going in very open-minded. I'm willing to take whatever avenue. The fact that they've got carte blanche to do it, I think diehard fans may be a little miffed if it doesn't open with adult Jason. But to be honest, I don't want that.
Nope.
I don't want them lead to that. I've got if they said we got a guaranteed. Well, I think that article, and I'm going by memory now, even though I just read it 2 days ago. I thought that article stated that they were almost in for 2 to 3 seasons. Like it's almost like a sure thing. So if they could flesh out 2 to 3 seasons, it's almost like fleshing out a trilogy, if you will. They almost know how they can build this, and then anything else beyond that could be just extra. So, maybe the first 3 seasons or 2 seasons are this Pamela's Tale prequel, Pamela's Tale leading up to like Jason being an adult. And then we could season 3 and 4 can really get into him being an adult and Pamela's gone. And maybe just a memory then. Because just like the video game, I like how they do keep her around. Her voice is always in his head, and it becomes the driving force for him. I like that. And then you could keep Mia or whoever's adult Pamela there.
Fuck. Dude, that'd be awesome. You know what I also want to see? More stuff from part 1. Like when Jason is calling, help, somebody help. Now instead, it really is Jason out there doing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Fucking badass,
there's
man.
So much that they could plan together, and she's still batshit crazy, but they could just and I'm gonna come at my parents because that's the stuff I love when they do that shit. Halloween, the new Halloween trilogy started to go down that route. They're going down that route. I felt like they could have done a bit more, and maybe they played it safe. Maybe they took the right route and just said, if we go too far here, we're gonna piss off the people that are like, oh,
they don't care.
So
they didn't care about pissing anybody off, I don't think. To be honest, after we've seen it all.
You're right. But so I don't know. Like, there's so much cool stuff. You're never going to win everybody over, as we know. No. There's people that hold this series close to their hearts. I'm open to anything. I think we
am too.
Established.
Even a Bates Motel, like I said.
We're diehard fans. I don't know where I was going with that. So I'm cool with anything.
Yes.
I could be disappointed for sure, but I'm going in open-minded. And again, if it opens with that Jason, so be it. But I think there's so much potential here.
Oh,
what if it's
I wonder if they have the logo
in a hockey mask going, let me tell you my story.
Imagine that.
Like a cigar or a pipe. going through like
Oh,
the base of the hockey. Like it'd just be like just piss people off right away. He's
would you?
talking
Oh
and
my.
reminiscing.
Or it picks
Or
up in
Ari Lehman.
no, like Ari Lehman in a hospital bed, right? And these are his dying moments, and he's recalling his life. But it's Ari Lehman. He's chasing a guy that small, dude. Right? Imagine that if they kept him small. There's no way they're gonna keep him small. They're gonna make him giant. But still, man, fuck. I hear you now.
Maybe he has some growth thing, but then to explain how it evolves 30 years again, it might be too convoluted.
Just get no.
Just play around
None
with
of
it. So I don't think anybody's going to care that he's not a boy popping up out of the lake. If he's been alive all this time and you redo it, but he's now grown and he's 20 something or whatever it may be. So
well, first of all, you're not gonna see if you're in a fucking canoe and you're fucking facing this way and an arm comes up behind you and grabs you. How the fuck do you know who it is? You may not even be a male.
Boy, man, yeah.
Right, it could be fucking anything.
Them.
It could be an identifying as an it. We don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what I do.
Furry.
An it is fucking great. Well, because they make you choose on the on the Letterboxd. So one of the choices was it. So I said, yeah, I'm an it. We're all a fucking it. So anyway, fuck, Jason. I don't know. There was something. Do you think they got the logo? Do you think that's part of the rights? Like when the logo comes on the screen, will it be old school Friday the 13th? Either of them.
Well, it's not going to be Friday the 13th. It's called Crystal Lake.
Oh, okay. Maybe they take Crystal Lake and they put it in the font of fucking Friday. Yeah, dude.
They got that. They've got, where's the other one?
Well, there's the original and then there's that behind you. Right.
I don't think anybody's going to get too crazy, but yeah, if they do the font of Friday the 13th,
it'd be amazing.
Crystal Lake. I still like that title.
Get a boner.
Welcome to Crystal Lake. But
is that what it's called?
Crystal Lake. No, I saw that. I think it was an article about the possibility of a show. And I think the article just said, welcome to Crystal Lake. And I thought that was the name of the show. And it's just registered in my head.
Oh.
That's a great title. Welcome to Crystal Lake. But Crystal Lake is fine. I'm totally cool. It's a Crystal Lake right there. Maybe that's why I embedded in my head. I don't know. But it's right there. So Crystal Lake or whatever, or it's that. And then it just, the name Crystal Lake pops out. That's cool. I like things not being overly explained. So I'm worried.
Yes.
One of my worries will be that Crystal Lake is this mystic place.
I know.
That there's all this stuff that could go. I don't need that shit.
Like Bates Motel did. Eventually.
I don't actually need that shit. I
don't either.
Do we need an explanation? Can it just be some sort of evil? Can it just be something that this is weird that it's happened? But do we have to have an explanation? Like that's the problem. Why Jason keeps coming back and whatever. And then once you try, like a Jason Goes to Hell attempts to, or some of these other ones, that it sometimes it's not satisfying because it's almost like the fear of the unknown. They're trying to explain that aspect of it, and that's what is at the detriment of the film or the series. So I'm hoping they don't go that way.
Dude, that is exactly a complaint I'm going to have about one of the movies we're going to talk about later. It would have done better without the explanation they gave us and kept something a mystery. So I agree with you 100%. I don't need it. Obviously, I don't want a Jason Goes to Hell thing at all. But I am afraid of that, though. Them making Crystal Lake some type of mythic fucking supernatural thing. And then you know what they'll do? They'll tie it into the fucking the original series with the gift shop and all that shit.
Yeah,
they would just to be cheeky.
Well, again, I don't care if they have that place in fucking town.
I agree. That's fine.
That is great. Those are the good little Easter eggs that are awesome. You go buy it, the shop's right there. There's a paramedic, a young paramedic on the scene. His name's Roy. Who fucking cares? That would be fantastic.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? That's perfect fan service. Because what you're doing now is you're building backstory to these convoluted, crazy aspects of a franchise we love. Because I love Part 5.
A new beginning.
I mean, it's not a new beginning. There's something about it. The sleaziness, just the brutality of it. I say it's more Friday than most of the Friday movies. Like it's got kill after kill after kill. It's ridiculous, but that's what I love about it.
It's come back.
That you just pop in Roy, like, well, you're talking to me,
right?
But he could be an innocent kid, but because he's part of this legacy and he lives in the area, or he's starting his career, it's, planting the seed that eventually he falls into. So again, I'm not saying it's a main character, but you just have him as a secondary character that it just from a fandom standpoint would be kind of cool.
What if they have the whole fucking backstory of Roy? Could you imagine? He was a killer. He was a killer in one of the movies. If they're going to have a backstory about somebody else besides Jason and Pamela, I hope it is fucking Roy. We could see his life going through fucking high school and everything else, and how he got this girl pregnant. It's almost like a Pamela story, but the guy side.
Yeah.
And fucking something happened, and maybe there was a reason he couldn't see his son. Maybe he was a geek and he slept with some fucking hot girl, or something went down and fucking she didn't want him around the kid, and then he came out a certain way, and then she wanted to, they abandoned him. All this. See, I think you and I could write some shit like this. But anyway, we're not going to get the chance. Maybe we could, and we'll submit it to them. But maybe imagine that, all this talk about writing this and that and the other thing and making a movie. What if you and I wrote something like fucking Damian Swift and fucking Shannon or whoever this fucking guy, and we submitted it to fucking Brian Fuller, whatever the fuck his name is, and said, here, check this out. Like they did. I'm sure they'll get submissions like they did for Freddy vs. Jason, a fucking million.
I'm very giddy and excited about this.
Now I am talking to you. I've been trying to fucking be calm and to fucking
sorry
and to push it. Yeah, but we can't help it. We're equal fucking Friday fanboys. Well, our passion is fucking there. So now, this is what's gonna make or break the entire show for me. If at one point somebody says this line, well, if that's the way you feel, forget it, Vic. Just forget it. But I think you're really out of line. If I hear that in any episode, I'll fucking stand up and applaud. That's all I.
And for me, and it's funny how everything's from a new beginning tonight. It would be, you're out of your fucking mind. You've been out of the sun too long.
Right. Or if you hear on the radio, they're driving, and you hear, ooh, baby, ooh, baby.
Baby. Yeah, imagine.
How great would that be? Seriously.
That's the shit they gotta wedge in. But that's what I want. I want, like, you come in and we see the establishment of where downtown Crystal Lake is, where Camp Crystal Lake is, where Pinehurst is, Packanack, like all. Like it just comes through, and just an opening. Imagine that just being the opening where it's like, and then it just says welcome to, and then Crystal Lake comes out.
Fuck.
And then that's the opening. It doesn't even have to show characters. It just shows established areas that have been recreated or redone, modernized, if you will, like for the open. And then we know that we could possibly be revisiting those down the road. That'd be awesome.
Imagine what they could do for part 2. They can have the fucking casino there and open it there. They have that thing there. They have everything with fucking part 2 that tributes it, Packanack. And dude, and how about every time they turn on the radio in the entire franchise of this fucking show, it's a song from one of the movies. Because there are tons of songs in these fucking things. There's the original. There's fucking, Tiny Sparrow. There's fucking a bunch in 5. There's a bunch in 6. You got Alice Cooper. You got fucking 4. You got No Way. Fucking, him dancing and all that shit.
Yeah.
Dude, there's so much music. If they had the intelligence and the fucking, he's got the budget.
No way, not tonight. No way.
Right?
What is that? I knew.
You know what that
Felony.
is.
Felonies part 6.
What is the title?
It's gonna
You're
drive
right.
me crazy now.
Fuck. I forgot the title. You're right. I'm with you though. But man, here's the thing. They have the budget. Tangerine. Yeah, just that comes on the radio. It could be like Led Zeppelin's Tangerine. Tangerine, tangerine. But still, we'll know what it is. I mean, it's like if they truly have 5 times the budget that they did on Hannibal, why not spend some of that money on fucking fine tuning something like that? Do you think they could really placate to the fucking fanboys that much? Do you think, again, the only way we're going to know is if this guy is a fucking true Friday fanboy, which we don't know. I would like to hear what he says. If he says, yes, I love all these movies, I'm a fucking diehard fucking enthusiast for this franchise. If he says that.
He did say that. It's in the article. He said he ever since he saw Jason on the cover of Famous Monsters from way back when, that he was on the cover with, it's Moss Jason. Jason, the Tom Savini creation. He's on the Famous Monsters cover from way back when. He says when he was 9 years old, he saw that magazine, he was hooked, and he's been a diehard Friday the 13th fan ever since.
Well, shit. So maybe maybe he'll do all that fine tuning of fucking songs right down to it, man. Part 2, man, there's so many things they could do with that in between part 1 and 2.
What
Anyway.
they need is they need us in the room, but then they need someone to
Yes.
like just to hear us out and then to
Yep.
kick us out, because ultimately we'll just
Fine.
we'll throw out all the shit, wedge this in, get this in, do that there, B footage here, whatever that there. Okay, get us out. You write it, because yeah, we're gonna just go off the rails and we're gonna be like this, how we're talking right now. So be it. Just punt us out of the room like that kid that I'm gonna do later. That came out so wrong, but you know what I mean. But
Oh,
yeah,
man.
I'm excited. There's so many avenues they can go, and you're
Yeah.
right. They can really take their time and dedicate a season to 2 seasons just
Shit.
establishing the past and the lead up and the 1980 time frame, and then take it beyond. Almost, you can have.
Dude, it'd be awesome.
I mean, if they did 1 season, that's going to be a fast-paced season, and I'm already excited about that. But if they could push it to 2 seasons, not
It's guaranteed
feel
2.
like it's dragging.
It's basically guaranteed 2.
I think that's how they worded it, 2 to 3. Like they said, their interest was so strong that it was like almost like a guaranteed, like, yeah, two seasons or possibly 3, like I said.
And it's Peacock, which, check it out, NBC, okay? They did Hannibal. And Hannibal was fucking gory. So that means they're not going to have any problem with fucking gore on Peacock. So, awesome. Fuck.
You got to talk this.
Let's talk it. I still haven't watched it.
I've watched it twice now, just to make sure I wasn't. I have a nitpick. Nobody's talked about this. They're always talking about 4K, this, that, and the other thing, the brighter colors and everything else. Here's my biggest. I can't believe I saw this. And I checked a few things. I didn't deep dive into this. Tell me if I'm nitpicking too much. You're a tried and true fan of this. True. Oh my God. You're a tried and true fan of this as well, as we know. The opening scene with Barry and Claudette, when Claudette freezes and screams, it goes up to white.
Right.
Fades out, and then the Friday the 13th logo comes down. It fades to black here.
I've heard.
It's no white. I think I told you this in the text. There's no white. It's fade to black, and I'm like, that's weird. Okay, I know I'm a little crazy. Fade to white, fade to black. Who gives a fuck? It's such a weird change. Most of the dark scenes in this movie are too dark. Not all of them, because I know a lot of this just does take place at night. So stuff that's filmed where there's like interior of cabins, and anything like that is lit fine. But when they're out chasing, like there's 2/3 of this movie that look great and probably the best we're ever going to see it. The other third is dark, and it's that HDR or whatever. It just brings everything down. There are moments in this movie where I'm like, am I watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre on VHS again? Where you can't see anything in the frame for a few seconds or so. And I haven't changed my settings on my TV, popped in other 4K videos. Lighting is fine. Watched Evil Dead 4K, Evil Dead 2 again. And Evil Dead was the one I really wanted to test because it's a lower budget style. Looks perfect. Looks fine. No other movie looks affected like this. There are scenes that are so dark. I know they filmed this on a low budget. But when there's like the stuff when Alice and Pamela are running and she's backlit, all that stuff looks okay. Mm-hmm. But it's just some of the other things that were more natural light that were already kind of dark to begin with are brutally dark here.
Oh, man.
And even Claudette's face, when she freeze frames at the beginning and screams it's supposed to fade to white, that's when I first noticed. I'm like, well, that looks dark. And instead of fading to white to bring her out a bit, it just goes to black. You're like, well, that was horrible. What's going on here? So I don't know if I'm nitpicking, but the change of fade to white to fade to black for whatever reason seems weird to me. I don't know. They didn't see, and it's in both the R-rated and the uncut version. And then the rest of the movie, like I said, the rest of it looked like it was good when it was day shots or lighting inside a cabin. But for some of the nighttime stuff, I was not impressed. I give it like a C plus B minus.
Fuck. Okay.
From
so
overall standpoint,
you're gonna tell me, because I know I did. I want to say we both did. Raved about how good it looked on the box set when they did the 2K remaster or the 4K remaster, whatever it was on the last one. We said how fucking pristine it was and how great it's looked. You're saying that that's your preferred. You like that better than this?
Yeah, and it's funny because I think someone did point it out. I believe I think it was this franchise. I get some of these Blu-ray 4K reviews confused. Again, some of the actual daytime shots are preferred in this. So again, the cop-out answer, Dave, would be a mismatch, a mashing of both.
Oh, okay.
You know, the opening from the Scream Factory release, the rest of the movie practically until like it starts getting nighttime and they're starting to look through the dark and they're looking like I take for the 4K, and then practically the whole last act back to the Scream Factory one again.
Fuck. Okay, so
something like that. Like I would like to hear other people chime in. If you have this, the 4K release of Friday the 13th, did you notice that it was significantly darker than it should have been? And again, I wouldn't have a problem with it if it didn't seem like it was for longer periods of time than it was, because the stuff in light is great and it looks amazing.
We should put out a video. We should put out a fucking video on YouTube. I'll watch it, you watch it, and we'll review the fucking disc. They have these things all over the. Why can't we do it? We should do it. I was going to say you should, because I know you could.
Black
but I'm
Crush.
thinking maybe I could do it. We could do it together. And it could be a fucking even a live thing, maybe. Whatever it is, I think it'd be cool if we watched it, did a real review on it. I mean, you just did, but not everyone's going to see that. We could do the same thing. You could talk about it on YouTube and have a because people are putting up videos and I'm hearing mixed results. Here's the thing. Does it say anything on the box about, or anything? Is there anything? I'm guessing it's pretty fucking bare bones because it's fucking sorry ass Paramount, right?
The same special features you've had on every release of Friday the 13th from Paramount.
It's a Paramount issue.
Changing that. Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah, and again, you're asking me now. My eyes are what I'm trying to look at.
Don't worry.
Is so small. The print is so ridiculously small that
don't worry about it. I can go grab mine if need be. It's 6 feet away from me. I can go grab mine. My Friday room is right here. I just I'm gimpy, so I'll walk slow, but I'll go grab it.
There's
sure?
nothing to state.
Okay. My question was this: did Sean Cunningham pull a fucking George Lucas here? Because if not him, who and why? When have you ever heard, and maybe there's some people out there that are more diehard collectors that can tell you the difference between fucking Fulci Zombie and fucking in DVD in blue and fucking the 4K now or something. Maybe there are people, I know there are people like that out there. Maybe I'm just not aware of this being done before. But if not Sean Cunningham pulling a fucking Lucas, why would a studio decide to go through the length and the time? Yeah, but why? Yeah. Because it's gonna be time and money.
I thought it was a blowout. Maybe I thought the image was blown out, but then when Annie gets her neck slit, it fades to white. All the other fade to whites that we're accustomed to are there, just not that opening one with Claudette, or her mouth freezes and then whatever, and it's significantly darker.
Weird.
And those are the trade-offs with 4K, and that's what I was noticing when I first started collecting. Then I started getting some really good ones. So I'm like, there we go. Those are the great ones. But this is not. I was like, couldn't wait to have this. And I would say it's not my definitive. I would actually probably watch the Scream Factory one before this, and I'll probably do a comparison one for you as well. But it was shocking. Like I said, like the daytime stuff is probably the best we're going to see in this movie. So for that, I love it. But just those little weird decisions, like you said, why fade to white? Maybe it blew out on the screen, but such a split second.
I don't get
everything else is
why
so
would
dark.
They care?
No one complained about that. That's the weird
dude,
thing.
This is Paramount. We know they don't give a fuck about this fucking franchise except to make a buck. So it doesn't make any logistical sense for them to put time and extra money into fucking doing something like that for this when they know it's going to fly off the shelf to the people that are going to buy it no matter what. Why would you even bother to make that change? Like, I wish I could sit down with somebody and say, hey, whoever at Paramount, why was this decision made? What's behind it? Because it doesn't make any sense. Like, I can't wrap my head around, if Cunningham's not doing it for artistic reasons, why the fuck would Paramount and whoever makes their 4Ks, distributes them, give any shit whatsoever. It's shocking to me. I don't.
I can't. I don't know either. I'm like,
Right.
when you second guess yourself. I'm like, I've watched this movie so fucking many times. I'm
Right.
like, wait a second here.
That's white.
And
We
then
all.
I threw in my other copy right away,
Yeah.
and on my other copies.
Yeah. Right. Which one? Take your
I just
pick.
checked one,
Take your
and then
fucking 50
I
copies.
popped in. I'm like, yeah, no, of course I'm not crazy. Fade to white,
Yeah.
freeze frame, fade to white.
Part 2 as well.
Logo comes down and then shatters the pane of glass.
Yep.
Like, it's so bizarre. I
If
don't
they fuck up
understand
part 2 as well, they better learn from this, because I don't want to see fucking fade to fucking black when fucking, when from the wheelchair to the fucking orgasm. You know what I mean?
Learn from what? No one cares. I haven't seen one person comment on it. That's what I was shocked about. We should just put this part out as a segment alone, as a 4K talk Friday the 13th. Done.
But people have bitched though. I've seen it. I've watched these fucking reviewers that do this. And I have seen complaints. So I have seen it. There are people that I will watch on YouTube that strictly do things about, Blu-ray comparison, this and that. Let's review the new 4K. That stuff interests me because I'm a fucking PQ snob. It's facts. I know it is. I'm not going to deny it. I mean, in this day and age, why would I not be?
I think it was this one that they were comparing the Scream Factory, and the Scream Factory had more of a red hue to it, which I was not aware of. You don't realize it as you're watching it, because I love that Scream Factory disc.
Right.
But then when you compared it to the 4K, you're like, oh yeah, the red hue's totally gone. And so that's what's different. Like, everybody had a bit of a red tinge to the skin tones and whatnot. But I never even thought of it until I saw this video and they compared the images side by side. But it didn't really deep dive into the nighttime stuff as much. But he didn't deep dive into it, but he did mention that, I think very similarly what I'm saying, is that the daytime stuff is great and it looks amazing. The compromise is that the darker stuff is on the darker side of things. But I don't know how they can't balance that with HDR and all that shit. That's the stuff I don't know. Just make my movie look good. Why is this become such a problem?
Okay, I'm going to grab my Halloween because there's something I want to address on that one. So just give me a second to get my ass over.
You go grab your Halloween.
Not far at all with the sorry ass hip. Okay, so Halloween.
That was hip episode. Guy's fucking falling apart.
Dude,
sorry ass hip.
Yeah, fucking roots. Brutes.
Brutes. We're bringing Brutes back.
Oh, dude.
So it's difficult to recommend. If you're a Friday the 13th collector and fan, you're going to collect this. Obviously you're going to collect it. I did. Most of us are going to. But if you have the Scream Factory 4K scan, I don't know. I think you're fine.
There you have it. Okay, people. Unbelievable. I haven't even cracked mine open yet. But again, I will. It's not like I'm not going to. So let me talk about this. I bought this last year because it was the first one that came out. It's the Halloween 4K.
Oh, I just sold that one. Yeah, I had that too.
Made by whoever the fuck made it. Whatever.
Yeah. No name. I hated that one. To me, I want to hear your thoughts on that, because I hated that transfer.
Oh, there's more. Okay, so I bought this. I watched it. I thought it looked better than it has before, so I said okay. Every time the movie that keeps getting better every time they upgrade. But then I started doing all kinds of reading about the other Halloween from Scream being a much better transfer. I watched these videos and that's what I've heard. Now, last year, I had already bought this Halloween one. When the sale came out and the new ones came out, the 4Ks, I bought this Halloween 2 and I bought Halloween 3 on 4K. Didn't buy the other one because I already had it. By the way, these fucking things, God, the hard fucking cardboard. I wish everything came this way. Wow. Oh, they're awesome.
That's better than the slipcover. That's the best packaging. I love them too. Yeah,
so now Scream Factory just had this sale. Whatever the fuck it was, the Haunted Ween or whatever the fuck you want to, Shocktober.
Shock me Tober. Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, Shock Me Tober. So Shock Me Tober thing comes in, and I make some purchases, which you guys know I don't do much, but I got like 5 or 6 movies. I got fucking Cat People, I got The Dead Zone, I got Serial Mom, I got Alligator 4K, I got something else, I forgot what it was, and I had to fucking get this. I had to get the Scream Factory Halloween because I heard it was so much better. Now here's what I want to show you. when you open up the disc, 3 discs come in this fucking thing.
3, I know.
Now here's the weird thing. The original Blu-ray, Halloween. Now here's this one. Blu-ray, original Blu-ray color timing. So one of these is the Cundy one. One of these is not. Now I already have the Cundy one somewhere else. I think it was the 25th anniversary or the 35th anniversary, whichever one it was. So I had it. I don't necessarily need it. But I thought it was really cool of them to give you 2 different versions of Halloween with different color timing on them. It's awesome. And then the 4K. So I can report
it's a definitive set, in my opinion. I love that one too. I sold my other one, the one that you first showed me. I sold it because I'm like, okay, I've got the Scream Factory one now. It's got everything on it. And I've got the old DVD that had like the television print.
How could you sell that? Look how beautiful that fucking looks on the side that way. That the orange Halloween.
The other one, I sold it very easily.
The thing is, I'm such a fucking fanboy for Halloween '78. I can't. Even this thing looks beautiful. The fucking cover of it, man. I just love the look of it, so I'll always keep it.
You know what? I didn't have the slip cover. That was the other reason.
Oh, I get lucky with these slip covers. Again, I bought this right from.
Again, I didn't like the transfer of that. That's when I commented on the show, one of the old episodes, and when I watched it last year for Halloween, I thought it looked really shitty. I was like,
wow.
I thought there was some artifacts in it. Some of it made it look like video. I'm like, this is weird. Put the Scream Factory in, and I was looking for that. Didn't notice a thing. Thought it looked great from start to finish.
Well, I'll tell you this. I enjoyed it. I don't know. I'd have to watch them back to back and see what the differences are. I was expecting to be blown away with the Scream, and I wasn't. But I mean, it still looked good. I'm not complaining. It's a 4K. It's competent. It's fine. I just wasn't blown away. Honestly, of the 3, Halloween 3 looked the best, in my opinion. So
yeah. Oh, I had the Halloween 2 and 3 steel books from Scream. So which are 4K scans, I believe. And I dragged my feet to get those, but I ended up buying them as well.
I can't help it. For Halloween 1 through 3, they're sacred for me. I have that. That's it. I'm not buying 4 or 5. Fuck that shit. None of them.
But I have 4 and 5 as well.
In 4K?
But I told you in 4K, and 4 looks great. 5 doesn't look bad either. 5 I'm an apologist for. I keep telling you that. I don't hate that movie. I actually might take Halloween 5 over H2O now as well.
Wow.
Like, I actually have no problem. It's crazy. The story's bonkers. But if you really drill down to H2O, the story's bonkers in that too. If you really drill down.
Yeah. No, dude, Halloween 5, I think I looked at my ratings when we did them on the thing. I think 4 I gave like a 5.5, and 5 I gave a 5. So I'm not a big fan of either, but I don't hate them. There's only one movie I really can't stand. Fucking Colon Resurrectum. Garbage. Yep. Trash. Everything else about that franchise, like I said, the lowest rating is a 5. That to me, outside of that movie, I'm saying, that to me is why this is my second favorite franchise. And these last 3, the first 3 and the last 3 are basically my fucking top rated ones. Oh, well, okay. Yeah. Rob Zombie's H2 fits in there as well. But then after that, Rob Zombie's H1. So honestly, I'll take it a step further. The first 3 and the last 5 are probably my fucking highest rated ones. And then H2O and fucking Producer's Cut, a 6. And then 4 and 5 towards the bottom, and then, the shit one. So, but honestly, I think it's a strong franchise. It's my number 2, but man. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about that just because of how cool it was that they put the extra disc. Wouldn't it be cool if the 4K of Friday came out and somebody gave it the proper care? See, why the fuck did Scream not put out the 4K?
I don't know, and I don't know if they have the opportunity to, but Paramount wanted to release it first. They're like, look how many fucking versions of this movie we've got. I'm assuming Paramount maybe is going to do them. Well, we know that they're going to do the Steelbook 4K. Is it December or January? They're releasing it even though it's not the 40th anniversary. They're not waiting for the 40th anniversary for Part 4.
No.
So they're releasing the Steelbook just like they did for the other ones for Part 4.
And I'll get them.
Then they're probably going to release Part 2 in 4K, Part 3 in 4K, Part 4 in 4K, maybe all the way up to Part 8. But they're going to be Paramount releases. They're not going to have any of
I don't want that.
Then I think Scream Factory might be able to do their version of it, whether it's individual or whether it's
No, that's it.
package.
I'm gonna wait. Even if Part 2 comes out, it's by Paramount. It's gonna be hard to resist. But I'm going to wait because I think when Scream finally does it, they're going to take the fucking inserted. They're going to
And I
insert
don't
the
know
fucking
shit.
scenes. Nobody
Yes.
knows, but I'm just saying. I believe that they will, because why would they not? That they will put at least part 2 out, and they'll put the fucking scenes that have been recovered. They'll fix them up the way they fixed up the fucking My Bloody Valentine scenes. I still stick to that. They didn't have enough
The way
time.
you just described, they should put their Blu-ray version and the 4K, the 4K, the Blu-ray, and then do a Blu-ray version with the scenes inserted, or a 4K disc with the scenes inserted. If they could, I'm not against that. Or on the 4K version, have the option like original theatrical, extended version, or whatever it may be, uncut version.
100%. I just remembered. We have this fucking voicemail. October 7th. Holy fuck.
Oh, almost a month ago.
Yeah. Well, I just kept forgetting, but this is yeah. Wait a minute now. Why would this be? Was this supposed to be? Well, either way, I'm playing, and if I'm wrong, and he doesn't want me to play it on this show. Well, it's too bad. Then we'll cut it out and I'll play it on another show. Because it says it was sent to me and fucking Jay of the Dead. So now I'm a little confused. Either way, I'm playing it. It's Eric Webster talking about an encounter with Art the Clown.
Ooh. Hey guys, this is Eric Webster. I told Dave Z I was going to record this for him after I saw him post about what Jericho said regarding Art the Clown on Facebook. However, I just got done listening to Dave Z discuss Art the Clown for about 30 minutes with Jay of the Dead on Jay of the Dead's new horror movies podcast. So I figured he'd like this story too. So I'm sending it to both of you. Okay. You're not under any obligation to include this in your show. I just thought this is a story that both of you
cut
would
it.
enjoy. If I know how Dave rolls, he's probably not going to listen to this until he's actually recording with Christian. So Christian, you think this is a waste of everybody's time? You're the editor, man. You have the power.
Amazing.
So
keeping it in.
This happened
a month late,
2019, and it's my personal experience with Art the Clown. I was attending a horror convention called ScareCon in Massachusetts. Now, I live in Michigan. You might be thinking, why was I at a horror convention in Massachusetts? Well, the reason is this particular con was run by somebody who came up in radio and is very pro podcast and want to support podcasters. So our fearless leader over at Dark Discussions, Philip Perrin, had arranged for us to be at this convention with a table. We were getting a table. They had a separate podcaster's room. And they gave us media credentials, so we did not have to purchase a pass for the convention.
Yeah.
So that was all awesome. However, the arrangement was in exchange for attendance and our table, we needed to provide the service of moderating some of the events at this con. So I remember back when this was going on, I posted a picture of I got to moderate a Q&A with Lisa Wilcox, Amanda Wiss, and Heather Langenkamp.
Man.
And I posted a picture of that on Facebook. And
I remember that picture.
I had a question like, how the hell did he pull that one off? Well, that's how it happened.
That's awesome.
So, in general, the con was a great experience for me. However, there were some downsides in that my moderation duties did conflict with some of the events I wanted to attend. Because I did not have to pay to attend the convention, I did purchase several photo ops because I wanted to support the people who were coming as guests. I purchased a photo op with Cassandra Peterson. I had one with Heather Langenkamp, and I also had one as David Howard Thornton in costume as Art the Clown. So while I was at this con, David Howard Thornton and Damian Leland actually had a Q&A session, which I wanted to attend, but I was late because of my moderation duties, so I had to kind of sneak into the back of the room while it was going on. But I did get to ask a question about Art the Clown using a gun and why he made that decision. And he actually never answered my question, but he asked me what I thought about it. And I told him straight up I didn't like it because I thought it was cheating to use a gun in a slasher movie. And the room got into an argument about it. It was fun. So that happened. Then I actually missed my photo op with Cassandra Peterson because I had a conflict with my moderation duties. So those were the downsides to being a moderator. Although in general, I had a blast at this convention. So the photo op with Art the Clown was scheduled for last thing on Saturday, the last event, because they knew it was going to be very popular. They didn't want to jam up foot traffic at the con with the line for this photo op. I, again, was moderating something on a different floor at the other end of the hotel, so it took me a while to get there. And by the time I got to the photo op, I was one of the last people in line. There were well over 100 people in front of me in line, so that was a bummer. But here's where the story gets interesting for you guys. David Howard Thornton is very protective of the character of Art the Clown. And while he is in costume, he's in character. Well, to a certain extent. He didn't, murder anybody, but he does his whole mime thing while he's dressed up as Art the Clown, and he will not speak. So that's, I think, pretty cool that he does that. And he also had a pile of props and was doing his whole mime shtick, and he provided everybody with a unique photo and doing different poses, and people brought stuff they wanted him to use, and he would do that. And there was one guy where he jumped up into his arms like he was scared. So while I was waiting in this huge line, it was entertaining to watch him do photos with other people, which I was actually impressed with and grateful for, because it made the wait not so awful. So finally I get up there and get my picture with Art the Clown. And if you follow me on Twitter, that's actually my avatar picture on Twitter is my picture with Art the Clown. So I have to go back to my table in the podcaster room, gather up all my stuff, and I had to go back to my hotel room there. So I'm waiting for the elevator, and this other woman walks up and is waiting with me. And around the corner comes Damien Leone and Art the Clown. and
Cool.
he's still in character because he's still in costume. Damien Leone is talking to him, and even though Damien Leone sure as hell is aware he's an actor playing a part, he's still answering with nods and gestures. He's not speaking. So I see them come around the corner, and the elevator doors open up, and Damien Leone yells out for me to hold the elevator. So I do that, and they come up. And that's how I found myself on an elevator with Damien Leone, Art the Clown, and some random woman that I've never met. Now,
They had an orgy.
Is on her phone, absolutely engrossed with whatever I don't know what she was doing. Was she playing Candy Crush or sexting, or I don't know what she was doing, but she was completely oblivious to everything going on around her. So I'm standing next to Damien Leone on one side of the elevator. Art the Clown is standing next to this woman on the other side of the elevator. And Damien Leone is carrying this little handheld camcorder. I don't know, maybe it's the director thing, but he starts recording with the camcorder and gestures to Art the Clown and points at the woman. And so Art the Clown turns sideways and leans over at the waist until his nose is about an inch and a half away from this woman's face and just puts on his creepy Art the Clown smile. And, Damien Leone and I are desperately trying not to laugh because she still hasn't noticed. We even looked at each other like, can you believe she hasn't noticed yet? After about 5 seconds of him standing there like that, she looks over and sees him and absolutely jumps out of her skin. I'm pretty sure she peed a little bit.
Wow.
Steve and I burst out laughing, and Art just gives her a little wave. And right then, the elevator stopped on their floor, and Damien and Art the Clown ran out of the elevator. And as they went around the corner, I heard Damien Leone just cackling. That was pretty awesome. The woman took it pretty well, I gotta say. After she got over her initial shock, she just shook her head and went back to what she was doing on her phone. So next floor was my stuff. I got out, and when I left the elevator, that lady was still doing whatever the hell she was doing on her phone. But anyway, I thought you guys might enjoy the story of how I got to see Art the Clown make some random woman pee her pants a little bit. So I hope you guys like the story. Keep up the great work, guys. Thanks.
That was
Wow.
a great story. For whatever reason, why did I feel like that story was going to go south? Like, I thought he was going to say I met him and he was an asshole. I don't know what it
Right.
was in the way that Eric led into that story or what it was. I was expecting a negative reaction. So
Me too.
pleasantly surprised. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And it was a great story. And can you believe what that movie is doing? This is great, man.
Yeah.
With the budget of like a fan financed, like Indiegogo type style, $250,000 budget. This movie's made over $8 million on the way to $10 million in the theaters. This is fucking crazy.
Wow, man.
And I'm so glad for
Me too.
it.
Me too.
And I'm very happy, and hopefully this leads to maybe more chances being taken, because there's really no chance to be taken when the movie costs so little. Put a little marketing behind it. Doesn't have to be extravagant. I mean, I know Smile's kicking ass at the box office, and Halloween Ends, although considered, a disappointment, it's over 100 million now at the box office. Right. It's doing fine for the budget and the marketing budget that it had. It's doing fine. So big budget's not necessarily going anywhere. We've had some successes, but boy, does this just reopen the opportunity to say, hey, maybe there's a market for low budget films at the cinema again.
Man, that's awesome.
It would be nice.
Yeah, it would be nice. We could do our own too, because I think I could play a killer very fucking easily, by the way.
I know you'll channel everything that you're, but my thing is this: none of them have been played by me. I could have gone to see other than Pearl, Barbarian, like the ones that we know, but like Jaws 3D came, Dawn of the Dead 3D didn't
Buddy,
come.
I know. I had to miss because of my fucking foot. Guess what else I had to miss? Fucking Goblin doing Suspiria. Guess what else I had to miss? Friday the 13th in fucking 3D in Rochester. What? Yeah.
In Rochester,
fucking,
I would have picked you up and drove you there.
Oh, fuck, hold on. Let's see when it is. Hold on. Maybe I didn't miss it. Maybe it's tonight. I don't know. Hold on.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th.
Let me get my shoes.
Hold on. Because I'm telling you, they're doing it the fucking off whatever, a 35 millimeter, whatever the fuck it is. Hold on. I'm pretty sure I missed it.
I mean, I love the fact I can watch it in 3D at home, but I've always said that was the one thing I wish I saw in the theater in 3D.
Rochester. Let's see when it is.
Rochester.
Thursday, November 3rd. Yeah, we missed. An eye-popping 3D presentation with a rare 35 millimeter showing using modern chromatic 3D technology. So, yeah.
Damn it.
$15. I know. Presented with our friends at Saturday Night Rewind and Fright Rags. Could have gone, but I'm afraid to fucking go anywhere and be seen fucking doing any type of walking.
Yeah.
So
you could have just had your head down while I drove.
While I blew you?
That's it. You were watching my
That's it. We could have pretend we were a gay couple, and I could have had my hand in your lap.
Safe, Dave. Just play it safe.
It would have been like, what do you call it? Jason
Lives.
Yeah. She pushes his head down.
Got a hairy turn coming up here.
Right. Anything you say, what the fuck he says. Wow. Great story, though, Eric. Holy shit. That is fucking... Yeah. I'm so glad it didn't go south, because I had a feeling it would, but I've heard a lot of good things about him. Actually, Paul Stevenson was fucking hanging out with him when he was here in Buffalo for some reason, and he had fucking wings with him. So I figure he's a pretty cool cat.
What if you stayed a character there, too?
Imagine that, dressed up as... Could you imagine? And he looked at people in the restaurant the way fucking he did in the first one when he was in the pizza shop. Oh, that'd be great.
No, it's not. Well, this guarantees a part 3, no question. And might actually push your argument out a little bit. He's not there yet, but hey, $10 million, approaching 10 million at the box office. I mean, for this little movie, this icon status could be elevated.
Down. I mean, I have no problem with it. I'd like to be wrong. You know what I mean? That's fine. I don't mind being wrong if it's good for the fucking genre. You know what I mean? Let him fucking go mainstream. Good.
It's great. I'm just upset that I wasn't able to see it in a theater, but that's okay.
I hear
I'll get over it.
Yep.
And I don't know why Dawn of the Dead 3D is not here in Canada, but it's not.
Well, it was here. I could have gone there last weekend. So many fucking things. I mean, I keep telling myself, look at the bright side. Look at the bright side. You haven't worked in 2 weeks and you got fucking paid money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
You're alive.
You're watching movies. You're fucking making the most of it. You know what I mean? I'm way caught up in 2022. I wish we had time to talk, but we got to get these reviews in. But I've been watching a shitload. So I mean, I'm doing well. I'm to the point now where I almost have nothing left to watch except for the 3 that I saved for the end of the year, which are the fucking Argento. What is it? Black glasses or dark glasses?
Dark glasses.
Because it got changed. It was originally the other one. So the Argento movie, which I don't have high hopes for, but it's still Argento. And of course, The Sadness and The Black Phone, because they've mostly been loved. So I saved them for the end, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna. Cool. I got a couple left, and that's it. You know, I just dropped a couple off the list. I decided I don't love fucking horror comedies enough to keep a couple that were there, and I don't love regular zombie movies like Virus 32 and Wormwood enough that I think they're gonna make my fucking even top 22. So I'm just not gonna bother with them. I just haven't been excited.
I really dug Virus 32. I haven't
really
checked out Wormwood yet. Let
me ask you this:
Virus 32. Again, when you think you're done with the genre, does it introduce anything new?
That's what I want to know.
There's a spin to it. Whether you don't think it's enough, it's up to you. But because I liked it. I enjoyed it. That was the one when I was looking for The Sadness. It hadn't been released in Shudder yet. I think Jamie and Brian had raved about it, and I put that one on thinking it was the one they were talking about, Virus 32. I think, if I'm going back in time, and then I'm like, oh, that was good, and then I realized, oh shit, that wasn't. Then I looked at their post again. I'm like, no, totally different movie.
Oh, maybe you've talked me back into it then. Maybe I will watch Virus 32.
I mean, if you're going to watch The Sadness, you should probably watch Virus 32 as well. I mean, 2 different takes, but that's what I'm saying. Like, just when you think you're done with zombies yet again, both of those movies are worth your time.
Okay, well then maybe. Okay, well then I know The Sadness was going to.
Well, I don't think it's going to be in your. I don't know if it'll be in your top 10. I don't know anymore.
22.
Because or top 22.
There's lots of room, homie. There's lots of room, so maybe. But you know what? Yeah. 2022. That's what it's all about. And fucking now we have 222. I mean, we could have gone fucking 1991 and shit. Christian was talking. Fuck the fucking 90s. We did the 80s because I love the 80s. I don't want to fucking watch 90s shit unless I fucking have to. Unless it's beloved. But I mean, I don't want to have to be forced into fucking, okay, what's in 91? What's in 92? Yeah. Fuck that shit. I say now, we just have fun. We do what we want to do. We can put both out there as we did for this one. Maybe next show, because it's going to be the live show, will be completely different. Maybe we'll just do one.
We'll
do art.
Or one. Yeah. Did we say that I'm going to be live with Dave next weekend?
It's true.
I'm going to go to his house on this couch. We're going to fuck.
Yep. My head's going to be in his lap. Like we just talked about.
And I'm going to pretend I'm driving. Almost there.
Awesome.
Kablooey. No, yeah, I'm going to be live. I'm dropping my daughter off at some dance retreat thing for the day really early. We'll be at Dave's house for 9 a.m. and we'll jump right into the show.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to get the fuck Dodge. I don't want to overstay my welcome. I'm going to shit on the floor before I leave.
Why not? Fuck it. Everybody else is doing it right in the basement here. Pull your pants down and fucking take a big fucking stinky man-sized fucking shit right in front of my fucking Blu-rays. Why not? And then on the way out, I was going to say kick the dog, but don't. Again, it's not even her fault. Like I'm all the blame is shifted towards the fucking wife now because she plays her like a fool. And I say this all the time. I go, this dog playing you. I'm gonna make her go in the backyard and shit. I'm gonna say go, 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 and you're not going back in the house until you do it. Stop making me force you to take a walk. Again, now I can't, so I'm not being a dick to her. I just can't. Yeah. So anyway, enough of that. Fucking crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna get back in that. Well, we got 222 movies.
We gotta do it. Yeah. We gotta do
222. You know what I meant.
The 22 caliber killer. Yeah.
Yeah. So which one do you want to start with?
I don't know. What do you want to start with? I'll tell you what. I think we should start with Barbarian because I have a feeling that Pearl is going to be better. We're going to come in higher with Pearl, I think. So Barbarian is going to be a little bit more of a discussion because I have a few things to say. Not bad,
Yeah.
just things to say.
Okay, well, I'm as usual as we're trying to talk here, and I'm trying to. There we go. It didn't take as long as it usually does, where I'm kicking myself for why it's dragging so far. It's a very short description for Barbarian from 2022, directed by Zach Kreger. A woman staying at an Airbnb discovers that the house she has been rented is not what it seems.
Okay. All right. Not what it seems.
And
well, yeah.
yeah, I went into this totally blind. I didn't see a trailer for this. I didn't see any. I just knew some people were raving about it way back when. I saw it with my wife, and I loved it.
Right on.
I loved it. Now, I'm not saying it's perfect. The second you think a little bit more about it, there are questions galore that pop up, but I can't take that away from the anxiety and the experience that I felt while watching it. And I like the shifting of gears. I sort of the Tarantino approach.
That's great.
Where, yeah. So that's my initial. I will because I typically ramble on. You shoot. You shoot your load.
All right. The first time I saw it, I did also see it with my wife. I saw it at the theater with her, and then I saw it again last night, of course. But the first time I saw it, I was really like, wow, okay. I like the way they shifted, and the thing is, I loved the first act. Loved it. Didn't know where it was gonna go, and thought that shit was fucking brilliant. And then when the other act is introduced, and then the flashbacks and things go in different directions. To me, that was the gimmick that makes the ride, and I love it. Now,
okay, good.
I had a few observations at the end of it. I was like, but why this, and but why that? Then I listened to Jamie and Brian talk about it on their show, and I was like, oh yeah, they're right about that. And then I watched it last night, and as I watched it, I had one of those instances where I think they could have done this, and it would have made the movie better. And when I do that, my rating is in the same ballpark as it was the first time. So it's not like anything crazy happened, but ultimately I did enjoy the movie. I feel that a lot of other people are higher on it than I am, but I still enjoy it.
Yeah,
I'll tell you why.
I'm probably higher on it than you are, but that's okay because I can get why you don't like it. Like my wife, she was creeped out. She says this is probably the scariest movie I've seen in a while for her. Wow. It just got under her skin a bit because of the way it played with conventions. And I love when a movie does that. And there's only a handful. There's a lot out there, but when they do it well, when you're like, okay, like they keep going back and forth here. They're playing with us. It's that same sort of feeling I remember having when I watched Scream for the first time. And I'm like, hey, they're playing with how these, oh my God, I have to hit my at least once a show.
I know.
I think it's already been a show. I apologize. I love when they play with conventions where you're not too sure where it's going. Are these characters who they seem to be, how they're presented? Because we're so used to it going down a different path. And when they find what is behind a door in the Airbnb and what's downstairs and the secret path, and then where are we going here? It becomes like you're in this Megan is missing territory. And then you're like, oh, fuck, this is getting crazy. And then it flicks the switch it just goes in a totally different direction. And it's very unsettling, unnerving, and great. And then it shifts gears. It's almost like it's its own little movie. And it could have been its own little short and been the end, but there'd have been no explanations then. And then we shift gears and we're introduced to another character, Justin Long, who, great to see him. Like, I feel like, I don't know why I'm saying great to see him back, because he's probably been acting and been in stuff. I just haven't seen him in anything for a while. So it's just great to see him again on screen.
I like him.
I like him. He's got a great sort of naturalness to him. And I'm along for the ride. He plays kind of this sort of, well, obviously disgraced actor or soon to be disgraced actor that finds out about something, and then he ends up getting the hell out of Dodge and going back home, and we find out is the owner of this Airbnb, but doesn't seem to really know anything about it other than he owns it. And then we follow his story, and we see the area that this woman is staying in the daylight, and how it's not the nicest area. And then we follow him, and he wants to sell it because he's got to liquidate some assets, whatever it may be. But we're with him now, and we follow him down the path, and he finds the same area, secret little corridors and craziness, and then ends up right with one of the main characters that we see in the opening scene. Yeah. And it ends up becoming how they have to escape and what happens from there. Yeah. You feel like there's going to be some sort of vindication, or he's going to somehow have an arc, this character.
But that's what's great about it.
That's exactly it. I love the fact they play with that too.
Yes. Appreciate that shit. Very cool. He went here. Okay, maybe this didn't happen. Is the way he described it, because when you're talking about something, and I know people are going to say there's no fucking gray in rape, but when he's talking about it, I don't want to vilify somebody right away. Although he is kind of a dick, and there's something that I'm thinking, okay, maybe it started off this way. And the way he described it, until he said I can be pretty persistent, then it goes a little too rapey sounding. So that one line, maybe they shouldn't have even gone there. And then you could have had a little bit more, okay, is this bullshit? Was he hooking up with this girl and things got hot and heavy? And, at first she said no, and then he regressed, and then they sat there, and then a few minutes later they start making out again, and then he goes for a home base and she lets him in. Because this has happened throughout history, and I don't believe that makes anybody a raper. It just means she had second thought. Women, please. I'm not, don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to fucking say it's so hard to skate around it. You don't want to say the wrong thing, but
I don't even want to get it.
Okay.
I
know.
I hear you. No, because I always worry I'm going to say the wrong thing. Even when I'm describing things in the last few episodes, I'm like, I'm not even articulating this correctly, but if I start, it's down a rabbit hole of trying to feel like you're digging yourself out. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I don't think you're supporting anything by any means.
Of course not.
And again, that's what they're trying to dance around. Like, you're like, I don't know, I don't like the way he's describing this, but in his mind, and then you feel like they're it's almost like they're trying to. And again, I love the script for it, that they're trying to make him feel like he's going to have this heroic moment to kind of maybe show that he's not a bad person.
And the lead up to it. But the lead up is perfect. Actually, that's one commonality between this movie and fucking Pearl. I just figured it out. I didn't even think about it until right now. But in both movies, in this movie, he says, am I a bad person? Or am I a good person who did a bad thing? So you think he's going through this thing. Then again, for that minute, you're thinking, okay, maybe what I originally thought, that this was consensual, just not initially for the first fucking time he went, whatever. And then maybe it was just a thing, and she's coming at him, or they were drunk or something, whatever, because these things sometimes do happen. Sometimes there's vindictive people that do different things. So maybe so. So you don't know. There's also that moment in Pearl when she talks about, things that's going on inside of her. But prior to that, she's talking to Mitzi, and she says, you're a good friend. And she says, am I? And she's like, genuinely, you know what I mean? Trying to come to terms with what's going on inside of her body. Completely different type of fucking dysfunctions with the two of them, but still, it's one commonality I just thought of.
One issue when I thought Carrie was not going to like it is because you do have a situation where someone goes back into danger, but I think, again, it's to establish the fact that she's a good person. Like, she goes back to save him. You have a problem with it.
When she goes back to save who? Justin Long or Pennywise? Okay.
Well, I guess both. But
okay.
Justin, the Pennywise one, I'd still at that point, you really don't know what's going on. You just don't think it's good, and and whatever. And I was okay with that. She goes back to get Justin Long after. This is after she, I believe, drives her car into this monster or whatever, and then my wife's like, leave, like, run, hightail it the fuck out of Dodge.
Well,
but she doesn't.
Why leave? You've killed the monster. The guy's still down there. I could see going back. I have no problem with that at all. I have a problem with something that has to do with that particular situation. But the funny thing is my wife and I are watching the movie the first time, and of course she's like, wait, who is this guy? Who is this guy? And it's, Bill Skarsgård. But she again, she's very aware of it and has seen it and everything else. But because you see him out of makeup here, she goes, that's the guy that was in Stephen King's, in that show we watched, Castle Rock, because he was in Castle Rock as the prisoner in the first season. And I go, yeah. I go, do you know who else he is? I said, and then I had to tell her. She's like, oh yeah, that's right. I knew that, but I forgot. So anyway, we're watching that brilliant fucking first act and everything about it, and more on that later, because I wish half of the movie would have been that, and they could have skipped something else and just had that and the way it happened in the end. I think it would have been a better movie. But anyway, this is great because she's smart, right? She handles it well. She comes in. Oh man, I love this girl, by the way, this actress, and she comes in and she's great, and she's smart in every way. She doesn't take the drink, this and that, everything else. She's very careful. And then she goes down, the bed in the bucket, and then she comes back up, and then she tells him, and I also get what he's saying. He goes, wait a minute, so you want us just to fucking hightail it out of here because you see a room and there's a fucking bed and a bucket and a basement and a fucking, let me go check it out. So this is the funny part. When he goes down there, she knows what she knows. And he goes down there and wants to look, doesn't know, but she has a feeling. He goes down there and looks, and he starts screaming. My wife sits there next to me and tells me, she goes, I just want you to know that if that's you, I'm not coming in to save you. And
well, there you go.
This is why I love her, because she's fucking ride or die. But if I'm a dumb enough motherfucker to go down there when I just told you this, that, and the other thing, and you go down there and you're screaming, why would I come down there and also get killed? She goes, I'll call 911. She goes, but you knew the score. You don't go down there. You're on your own. And I said, well, the feeling is mutual. Fine. You know what I mean? I'll call 911 too, right from the spot.
I don't even have to hear screaming, honey. I haven't come down.
Right? Yeah, fuck it. I don't want nothing to do with it. But she goes, yeah, if you're screaming, she goes, I'm sorry, I'm not coming down there, just so you know. I'm like, that's fine. So I thought that was funny. That was funny. And also later on when Justin Long goes back to the place, when everything is going on. And as I'm watching it, I'm thinking, yeah, this is 100% what I would do. And she fucking leans over and she says, that's you. And you know what I'm talking about? You know what part? Think about me. He goes back to the place. What is one of the things that he does, which is you're looking at it and you're kind of like, what the fuck's he doing? Can you think about it?
No, I'm
okay.
Blank.
It's the whole fucking tape measure thing. When he has more space.
Yeah.
That probably means more money. Right? Yeah. I think it's fun. And as he's doing it.
Consumed by it.
Well, yeah. He wants to get as much money as possible. I do this. Yeah. I think the same way when it comes to money. And she knows it. And I'm thinking it as I'm watching it. And I'm like, smart. And she's like, that's you.
I thought people were going to have problems with that. I thought people were like, come on.
Oh, I do it.
That was great.
Why would I not do it?
What the hell? I know. It's like he keeps measuring, going down the stairs. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, he's not afraid.
It was a great way to get him to that next area. Then like, what the fuck is, because he's not a good person.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you're a bad person. You're just trying to get extra money.
No, I know, but like, I mean, just based on, true. I guess my
it's bigger space
comparison.
You could list it for a higher price if that counts as square footage.
But what I'm saying is the nuances of that girl sees the room and instantly thinks Megan is missing, human trafficking, something horrible has happened here. He sees the room and starts fucking measuring it.
Right.
There's no thought process of anything ugly or evil has ever happened here.
Fair.
That's the difference. Right. And that's where I think I'm going with it. But I get the measuring for extra space.
Fuck yeah.
Too. But that's the difference. There's not even a thought process that goes through his head that this is evil, that this is dirty and whatever. Done. And that's the difference between the characters. And that's a good hint as to where he sort of ends up, which there is no arc. He's just, I guess, and again, I guess we've been dancing around it, but this is like usual spoiler-filled review. And Dave, I know you hate when we just announce it mid-review, but typically anybody that's listening to the show should know that by now. Because, I mentioned a monster, but we didn't really go into any details, which we're going to be.
But it's not. That's my fucking
it's problem. Not a monster. You would rather a monster. See, I like...
It's stupid.
I like that beautiful opening that you're talking about. I liked the Justin Long switcheroo. I like the flashback. I wish there was more flashback. I thought they could have played with that and build it up. I'm not saying you had to see like a lot more. there's enough there to know where we're going and what it's all about. I mean, they picked the right fucking person. That guy is a fantastic actor.
Richard
and
Brake.
He's just fucking.
Oh, what a
creepy.
cast! Period.
Yeah,
This fucking movie.
He's just fucking creepy. Everybody's great. That they did the Marion Crane thing. They pulled the Psycho here. You know, even if you didn't know that that's Pennywise, Bill Skarsgård has, I guess, enough of a track record to know that he's someone.
Yeah.
Just who he is, and then what happens to him is mouth dropping. So
True.
I love that they give you that switcheroo too, and you're just left with that absolute craziness, and then you get a breather as we get introduced to Justin Long. But when we're with the owner of the house, as in Richard Brake, right? Super creepy in the flashback. Seeing that that whole area used to be nice, that it's going through some changes, but he's not quite right in the head. And obviously we see that whole setup there. Isn't it funny that he actually goes up to his neighbor in that jumpsuit that has a different name on it?
Carlo, that's one of my complaints. That's a nitpick. But yes, why wouldn't he have taken that out, taken it off quickly,
I love that,
and then gone out? Because now you run the risk of being busted.
Well, I just think
he's so precise.
There's no, like, it's like almost like nobody cares. I almost thought, like, I was like, I hope the guy references it like Carlos, and they play off of it. But the fact that the guy was just consumed about, hey, just to give you a heads up, we're listening tomorrow. He seems to be in a different space. He doesn't even seem to care that this guy's wearing a Carlos thing. So it's almost like they did it on purpose. There's no reason why. And I was hoping they'd address it, and I was even happier that they didn't actually.
That's okay.
It was done. Yeah.
See, that's the difference between a nitpick and a fucking legit fucking complaint. That's a nitpick, and that's something that as I'm watching a movie and hearing you say that that's something I can let fall by the wayside, and that it doesn't affect my rating, and I don't care. I'm not going to pile on it. Same thing with, how come there's so much room in this basement? How far does it go out? How much property is there? I'm not doing that. This is horror movie this is movie logic.
Well,
I don't care. Stuff like
it looks like he dug his own, like it obviously looks like he
but it goes
dug his own.
Deep. There's going to be a house next door. You'd be into the next door neighbor's basement if that were the case. It goes
I guess. Yeah, true.
I'm not using that.
I think you're below those stairs. You're not even in a basement. You're below. You're sub basement. You're like a basement.
Sub level. You're right. And again, then you got to dig it yourself and do all that, and people would see you doing. Again, I'm not using. See, that's movie shit. That does not bother me. If I do have a complaint, it's about something in the narrative of a plot hole. To me, that's not.
There's a plot hole.
It's just more of like, there's a couple.
How? Well, how did this guy get fed? So because they don't explain it enough. You assume that he rings the bell. So, guys, again, we're being cryptic, and again, I guess for plot purposes, we need to explain it. The guy that owns the house, the creeper, Richard Brake's character, is still alive in that house with this supposed monster who we found out is an inbred over inbred, and we don't know what's happened. We assume that everybody else has been killed off, and this one's been left to sort of take care of him, as well as herself. And so he must have to ring the bell, and she goes out and gets him whatever food, whatever water he needs, and he's been living down there, sick, but living down there. And these guys happen to crack it. But I again, my wife was like, "How's he got food? What he's just been down there?" I guess I've answered it just by saying that homeless guy or that guy that's lived in the neighborhood says that he knows that there's an evil in there, and then it comes out at night. So we get we don't get spoon-fed everything, but you get a little bit of information to realize that obviously this is probably what's happening. Now, why does this inbred, I'm going to just keep calling it monster.
That didn't bother me. How about that?
Why does that person seem afraid of him? And then go out and maybe if he's sick, why doesn't she let him die?
Because it's grandpa. It's her family.
Again.
It's daddy. It's her fucking.
And he has that mother instinct. So again, I'm putting all these, because even Carrie said after she thought about it, she still loved the movie, but had these questions, and I was answering. So I'm bringing up the questions she had, thinking I assume that other people had them as well.
Not
me. I had no problem with them.
I didn't have a problem with any of that. See, that's what I'm saying. The things you said didn't even occur to me to think what that guy ate. That's just movie shit that I can accept. That's fine. She's feeding people with a bottle. There's things going on. I'm not going to peel it layer by layer and say how exactly this, how exactly that. That's not even my complaint. My complaint, that's what I'm saying. If I'm going to complain, these are going to be legit fucking things. I'm saying, okay, wait a minute. And I wish they could have done this, because I think you could have completely skipped all that stuff about the past, as cool as it was and as good as Richard Brake is and everything else. I think here's what I would have done. The first act would have been longer. It would have been 45 minutes, maybe longer, where you're still not sure where it's going to go with these two. And then you're not going to see the stuff in the past. And there's not going to be a killer downstairs. There's going to be just what it should have been, a monster. Just a fucking monster that's down there and no explanation. That would be fucking badass. By doing this shit here, this is what bothers me. Why does somebody who is an inbred have fucking superhuman Jason strength that they could pull somebody's arm off? Stupid. If anything, they're going to be weaker. Now, you can explain it in Hills Have Eyes remake because it's fucking radiation. Fine. You could give me something there I could swallow as a movie lover. It doesn't make any sense that this thing is that strong whatsoever. To me, that was my biggest problem the first time I saw it. I said, no. Why is this thing that strong? So, why not just make it a monster? Why not just fucking take all that shit out of it? And how scary would that be? Why not just be a monster movie? This thing happens to fucking live down there, and it's a straight up monster. Maybe something demonic that was put down there by a priest, like a wreck thing. Because that thing, and Jamie and Brian said it too, and I thought the same thing the first time I saw it. It looks like that thing at the end of Wreck, that fucking skinny lady with the fucking hammer going through this. Make it something like that. Now, by giving us this explanation, now you're hurting the movie, to me. As soon as I saw that, thank you. So you understand that. You think
I can't disagree. I don't. I'm okay with what I have, obviously, because I really like the movie. But I'm not disagreeing with you. I think it's good. I think then there's no point to have the room with the camera, per se. Sure, I think.
What does that have to do with anything? The room with the camera.
So that you think he's still there's still this, you just don't know anything about this house then after? Because like by having him down there, we realized that this creep lived there, it brought women down there and filmed this horrible shit and captured it. So you're saying the room still exists?
I have
videotapes?
I have a better answer. Check this out. Bill Skarsgård character actually is a creep, but we don't find out. It's a fucking shot they show us at the end of the movie before the credits roll. You know how that movie fucking God, what's that movie that I love with the fucking the guy kidnaps the fucking, oh damn it, the boy goes missing, and then they find out at the fucking end that he actually did really kidnap. They beat his ass the whole movie, and they fucking damn it.
Prisoner? The Prisoners?
No, fuck.
That's not a horror film, though. It's more of a thriller.
This movie, some people say, is not a horror film, but I fucking love it. I own it. I fucking know it. It's I don't want to say. I think it's in Hebrew. Oh, what the fuck is the movie called? And I know someone's probably yelling right now, saying it's this, and you love the movie. But either way, bottom line is this. You ever see those movies where fucking you think everything's one way, and then you find out there's a little snippet, they show something at the end? How better would this movie have been if they just left this a monster, and then at the end, now, Bill Skarsgård doesn't know that this other monster is there, this real monster for real, lives out, he still gets killed the same way, right? But we find out at the end that, in fact, he did have a fucking plot. He was trying to lure her down there, you know, with it and other stuff, and fucking that was his fucking thing. And like maybe he killed the fucking guy, whatever. It makes some fucking type of good explanation at the end where it could have been so. We could leave the theater thinking, oh, he was a good guy and that was sad. Or we can say, okay, this is actually a real monster there. There's no fucking father. There's none of that inbred fucking shit and all that other nonsense. Because if you think about it, it doesn't make sense that it's superhuman. And it doesn't make sense that they have an Airbnb here. I'll overlook that too. And that people are going to it in the daytime and checking in. And I'll overlook that too. But the thing is this. There's a thing down there that kills people. So what about all the people that came before that came up missing, that have rented that Airbnb? You're saying this is the first time this has happened? Of course not. Yeah. See, you're insulting my intelligence. That's another plot hole. It doesn't make fucking sense that this would happen. That's my problem. Again, I think the movie's great.
Did you think that the first time you watched the movie? Because I like upon retro, when you think back, there are a lot of questions that you could raise. But I still have to just take my experience from watching the movie and how much I enjoyed it. And I feel like, yeah, I get it. Maybe no one else went into the basement. Maybe this was maybe not the first time.
No, she
but
came out though. The monster itself came out and was taunting.
I know she did.
Remember, she opened the door. They were both asleep.
Yeah.
So what? She waited till this day just to do fucking this. Never did it before. She wants babies. They have to feed. This can't be an isolated incident, and we know it's not isolated because the homeless man fucking says, "Ba ba 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 ba." This is happening there. It's known. I know it. And the other thing, it was upon second watch. It was poorly done with the fucking homeless man chasing. Because the way he talks to her when she's running in the fucking thing, he just says, little girl, and he's like, fucking, get out of that house, get out of that house. It makes it sound like he's fucking, that he is a bad person. And we thought, and that's what they want you to think. But in retrospect, wouldn't you say something different? You're screaming on the other side of the door, say, listen, there's something in the basement. There's this, there's that. Say, fuck it. He's not an idiot because we see him later. He articulates himself just fine. So why act that way then and make it more scary? When you watch it a second time, and I love this. I love watching movies the second time for another point of view when there's cool reveals. And then watching it, and when everything clicks, I'm like, that's fucking brilliant because this, I could see how this could be misconstrued as this. That works. When it works, okay, you got a 9 or a 10 out of 10 movie. When I watch it back, I'm like, oh, wait a minute now. This doesn't fucking work. That's a cheat. I can't help but fucking say, okay, my rating's got to come down a bit. That to me, it's a plot hole. Same as this. The cop.
I think we sometimes and again, I know we're different. And I always bring up Friday the 13th because we were raving about it earlier. There are still issues with those movies, and we still rate them 10 out of 10s in some cases. And I'm still saying that I know you say you can always explain everything, but you can't really always explain everything in those movies. And I think it's nostalgia and growing up with them that have allowed us to move beyond it. These ones now, anything new, we're older, we're seeing it for the first time. And when I watched it, I'm not saying I didn't have questions, but nothing that really hindered my enjoyment. I'll laugh out loud at one point when the monster mama jumps off to get the girl. That shot probably could have been left out of the movie because I laugh because it's like, you see her diving towards the camera and somehow beats her down. Yeah. Beats her down for her to land on it. So
that didn't bother me, even though it did defy physics. Like I said, see, there are things I can excuse for movie magic.
Yeah,
this is what I'm saying. Movie magic stuff I can excuse. There are certain things, but there are certain other things. That's what separates a 10 out of 10 from an 8 out of 10. That's what I'm saying. If I watch it back, I'm saying that's just you're asking me to overlook way too much on second view. That if you see this the first time, because the first time you're taken for the ride with them, you don't know. But when you know about things in retrospect, you're like, well, wait a minute, that person wouldn't behave this way. That doesn't make it. It's not conducive to fucking the narrative. It almost angers me when I see that. Same thing with the cop. Why the fuck? All she had to say, and I complain about this. With
cop thing bothered me a bit. Why didn't
she say this to the cop? No, see, I don't even care if the cops were being assholes because they sometimes are, and this is a person of color, and maybe they thought something, but then again, he was a black man. The cop, one of them was, but still, I could actually be a little bit fucking accepting of that. My problem is this: all she had to do, because she went to it right after, was in her car, say, "Listen, this is my car. These are my keys. I could go in this car right now and fucking leave. I don't want to get in there for me. I have escaped what's down there. Let me show you my car and my keys. I can leave right now. You see the kind of car I have? I'm not a fucking bum. Look at me, okay? This is what I have. I want you to go into that house and save the person that is in there because I just escaped them." But no, at no point does she do that. She acts like a fucking crazy person and smashes windows. All she had to do was walk a few feet to her car and say, "Listen, guys, I'm leaving. You do what you want. There's a guy in there. It's not going to be on my conscience." And she didn't. That is a fucking plot hole. I'm sorry. And I enjoyed the movie, but that I cannot look over that shit. I'm sorry.
There are conveniences that I can't disagree with, and I'm saying I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it pretty much from that opening scene to the switcheroo to Justin to when she gets out, even the flashback. That last act is where there's some things that were rushed and I thought could have been done differently. Some of the thing with the cops, just them hanging out at the bum's place instead of just continuing down and getting the hell out of Dodge. I know they explained it a bit, and him saying she doesn't come in here, she's going to bust through the wall the second after he finishes that line. And then the climatic scene there. I know they had to bring it to somewhere and establish some sort of ending, but ultimately, I'm not saying I'm dissatisfied with everything that happened at the end there, but there's some plot conveniences to propel the thing forward, which I've become accustomed to. I don't like them all as well. This is not a 10 out of 10 for me, but it is a full head explosion for me.
Okay. All right. Well, for me, it's a half head explosion. It's on the high end. I do dig it. I like it more than I think it's great. I enjoy it. I just wish they would have, when I look at something and I said, you know what, you could have done this, and I think it would have been better. Like what I said before, the first half is this, the second half is this. Leave that stuff out and just make it a real monster instead of going with all this explanation about everything. Because I'll tell you what, the performances are good. You have a hell of a cast. It's a fun ride to go on. There's great kills in this movie. There's the stuff with the tapes and stuff, and the background of that guy is actually cool. Maybe it'd be better in a different movie even. But still, the background with the labels, the redhead at the fucking gas station, and he's a fucking serial killer. That's creepy and that's cool shit. And ultimately, the cast is great. The fucking score is really good. The gore is good. All this stuff comes together. The performances are good. There's no weaknesses in any of that. It's shot well. All this stuff is great, so it propels it, and it's a fun ride. And the end is fucking sad to me. Sad, sad, sad. I know it's a monster or whatever you want to call it, but ultimately at the end of the day, it had this fucking heart where it wanted to be motherly to something. And the way it is, I'm not saying it made me tear up because it did not, but it did fucking pull at my heartstrings a little bit, even though this is a monster. And just the way it was executed was very well done. It's hard to pull that off when you have a movie monster.
And I love how the credits kick in, the final credits.
Oh, doing that song, which I love that song. Yeah, I've always loved that fucking song. So all that stuff is great. So I am not knocking the movie. I explained what my problems were.
Yeah.
And precisely.
I agree. And I had some frustrations with what you're saying as well. And maybe it would have worked better if it been almost like the explanation could be, man, maybe he still lives down there. Fuck, who knows? But maybe by digging down into like the fucking depths of the earth, he disrupted something.
Yeah, or that found a monster like the Descent. There's a fucking thing there. That's what I'm saying. Just make it a damn monster. That would be fucking great.
And that's the reason the neighborhood went to hell. Who knows? Like they take it beyond poverty and whatever else. I'm not against that, but I really appreciate what we got, and again, not perfect, but damn great film and one of the standouts of the year.
Yeah, check it out. Definitely check it out if you haven't. For sure. Maybe the next time you watch it, you might think about some of the things I've said, and you'll be like, "Oh fuck!" And maybe I don't want to hurt a movie for anybody, but still, it's happened to me. People have said things, and then I've watched it. I'm like, "Oh, you know what? Yeah, that movie isn't as good as I thought it was." Now that that's been put in my head, and I'm seeing this year, I'm like, "Yeah, that's kind of fucking that's off. Why did they do that?" Yeah, and it does happen. So either way, again, I still quite enjoyed it. I'm not knocking it. There's a lot of good to it. It's just those three things that just like, no, you didn't have to do that. But anyway, let's go on.
Well, now we got another 2022. I love the fucking description of this movie. Shorter than the other one even. Pearl, 2022, directed by Ty West. Backstory on how Pearl became the person she was.
Amazing.
Or is. Weird description, but there it is. Done. It says was, but
right, they're giving a spoiler for X. They're giving you a spoiler by doing that. If you think about it,
Yeah, but you know what? Like, but Carrie hasn't watched X or Pearl, and I'm like, you got to see both of them. What do you think I should do? I think you still watch them with X first, and then Pearl.
I think not. I think you should watch Pearl and go into X because it explains the character in X much better. Now you see.
But that's what I love about it. I love the fact that you go back, and it's a beautiful prequel, and better than X. And I really like X.
I do too. Here's what's brilliant.
I really dig X. like I'm telling you, these are all movies that are most like there's no. I think just based on the way we're describing it, you're going to find that they're going to be playing in the top list, no question. They've and I actually think that this was better than X. I texted you a thing.
Certainly.
And I think Mia Goth, and I say this in all sincerity, deserves an Academy Award for this movie. Or like, you know, we went crazy with Toni Collette on Hereditary.
It'll never happen, but yeah.
And this movie, just the freeze frame at the end where it doesn't go to a freeze frame.
Oh, dude.
And she's doing the smile, and
awesome.
the smile turns to, it looks like she's actually experiencing pain from smiling so cheeky for so long that she breaks down, and it's like you just get this glimpse into her mental state, even though the whole movie is a glimpse into her mental state. But I'm just saying, just that shot alone, and how it doesn't freeze frame, and how she holds it, I'm like, holy fuck, this is a comfortable watch, yet it's amazing at the same time.
I love.
I can see some people thinking it goes too far there. No. I love that. I love that shot, and that's the final shot of the movie. But there's so much to experience here that's just fantastic. The setting, the colors, the performances, the gore. I loved everything about it.
Yeah, man. It is great.
But I just lay it all out there.
Good.
There's no secret to my thought process here. And I really enjoyed X too. So I'm like, wow, this is fucking fantastic. Like,
here's what's great.
Ty West is on a roll now. So.
Oh, fuck. This is what's great about these movies, is that they represent different types of movies, but movies that I happen to love, styles that I happen to love. X is a slasher. I love fucking slashers. Okay? Pearl is not a slasher. Pearl is a character piece about a fucking upset fucking person that's disturbed that fucking goes and kills and happens to be a female. I love movies like this as well, are artsy and other stuff. So how often do you see a trilogy where they change the presentation that way? Now, I don't know what's going to happen with Maxine. Here's the thing.
House of 1,000 Corpses is the only other one I can think of. Whether you like it or not, Devil's Rejects, 3 from Hell. That would be the only other one that I can comes to mind right now. That like it's almost 3 distinct styles, and the characters shift a bit.
That's a good. You're right. That is good. They are 3 different styles. Although I think the third one was just kind of, they tried to do Rejects on a smaller budget. Yeah. Ultimately, it wasn't like that radical or fucking different. Yeah. But still, even from Corpses to Rejects, yes, very different, very different. But I almost think I was so excited. I don't know if you saw the fucking thing for Maxine, the little promo thing. When I saw it at the theater, it came up after the end credits, because I knew something came up at the end credits for Pearl for X, which I didn't see when I watched it, and it's not on the Blu-ray, by the way. So that kind of sucks. So I got to see it. Of course, you can look it up on YouTube, and there it is. Wonderful. But I waited for the end of Maxine the first time I saw it at the theater to see that. And when that came up, did you see it or no?
No. And
I'm not going to say anything.
Do I want? No. But do you recommend that I watch it?
Oh, it's a teaser 100% where you see nothing, but it's just enough to pump you the fuck up. The song they use, the presentation, the fact that another one's coming out, the time period, everything exciting as fuck. However, I going into Maxine, I'm already thinking I'm not going to like it as much as X and Pearl, just because I don't
managed to get all 3 of these out this year. That would have been fantastic.
Well, they're lucky they got 2.
Of them came out.
I know.
Sorry.
Well, you know why? Well, no. They had COVID. They were in a hotel. They were fucking able to do it, and then they wrote it fucking while they were doing their thing, and then filmed it with masks. Right? Brilliant.
Yeah, I love that, and the fact that they popped that in, great. That was awesome, dude. The colors in this pop,
boom.
The style, so X is darker. It's that grindy 70s look. This is vibrant. It looks like fucking Sound of Music, or
Technicolor.
It's like
Wizard of Oz.
It just pops, and it fits so great, and her character is like, and then when she kills that fucking duck at the beginning to feed it to the alligator, we get introduced to the alligator, the creepiness of the father, the mother, how she sort of became the way she is. The pig with that's the one reason why I might not show it to my wife. I don't think my wife could deal with the pig with the maggots. I think that would just gross her the fuck out. And just how it's just sitting at the front porch.
Right. because her mother wouldn't take
story,
it.
The love of of moving pictures and the projectionist and how she's sexually frustrated, and that scene with the scarecrow turns into this dance number, and then this kind of like really like hard to watch like sex act, and she's just going in for the kill, for that kiss with the scarecrow. It's just like, you're like, ooh, it's creepy. And then she keeps the hat, and the mom just, the relationship with the mother and everything that happens, and
it's great.
The portrayal, what you said is perfect. Like how one movie's more straight up slasher, and this one is a journey into a diseased mind.
Yeah, man.
And it's I love those as well. You know, I brought up Maniac, I think, before the show.
Maniac or May or Saint Maud even.
There's tons of them. There's tons of these. Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. You're just there's just different styles. It's how he presents this though, with the vibrant colors and the characters and the period piece of the sense, and the sense it takes place in the past, in the 30s or 40s.
1918 is when it takes place, but the look is of the fucking 30s. Because in 1918, the kind of movies we got were the kind of things she was going to see. You know what I'm saying?
I thought they came out a bit later. But anyway, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Right. It was black and white. It was the fucking, the French shit, the cabaret and all that. That's what it was. Moving pictures. It was silent films. Well, no, they weren't silent.
And he was out to war. Yeah.
Yeah. World War One.
So then it's later than it's
1918. He says at the beginning of the movie. Boom. 1918.
For whatever reason, I thought it was a bit later.
Because that's the way it's presented. Yeah. Because if he wants to have color and beautiful stuff, he's gonna present it as this fucking Technicolor nightmare, like Wizard of Oz, Sound of Music. That time, fucking the 30s. What, you know what I mean? That's when things were. You can't go to the 20s because they weren't doing that yet. It was the 30s, which works. Because that's what you wanted. So it's fine if you really want to get fucking nitpicky on it and say, well, that isn't necessarily 1918. You don't want a 1918. Although they do kind of stay true, because they do have those random shots of her sometimes doing the black and white stuff and doing the poses and up on the stage. Like she is part of fucking Paris Folly.
And she's a star. Yeah.
Right.
Which is again, part of her diseased mind. And she thinks she's much better than she is. And
Maxine.
Yeah.
Which is fucking brilliant. This is what I'm saying. The thing with her and the X Factor again, it's the same thing with Maxine in fucking X. It's the same thing. And they both say, the whole world's gonna know my name, which is fucking great, because that is indicative of fucking Mia finally getting fucking recognition, the kind of recognition I've been giving her since fucking 2015. Since I saw her in Cure for Wellness, which, by the way, did you? And you didn't. I'm not even going to ask. What? There is a shot when she goes in the bathtub, and she's cleaning her father and all that. She didn't want to waste the water. She gets in the tub.
Yeah.
When she got in the tub and she sit there and they show her from the side for a second, do you remember that fucking promo shot?
Yeah.
Cure for Wellness. Yeah, I'm like,
until you mentioned it now, I didn't click in.
Right.
But as soon as you were talking about it, I'm like, yes.
Yeah. I picked up on it last night. Granted, this is the fourth time I've seen the movie. I saw it 2 times at the theater. I saw it one time. I showed my wife because she saw X. And then last night I told Frankie I have to watch Barbarian and Pearl. And even though Frankie saw Pearl with me the second time in the theater I saw it, she wanted to watch it again. So she really likes it. So I'm like, okay, great. But she hasn't seen X. Now I got to show her X, and I can't wait to watch it now, because I wanted to watch it right after, but she wanted to do her thing, and I had to watch Barbarian. But to watch them close is great, because they have like the opening shot of this movie with the barn and everything. You have the music is great. The way the credits come out, like the 30s and all that stuff, is just fucking brilliant. The nuances they do are fucking perfect. But they have shots that they used in X that they also use in this, which I notice more and more, because I've seen this one 4 times. I've seen fucking the other one 3. Okay. So it's like I'm noticing more and more between the two of them, and that's why I say it's better to watch X first. I guess Pearl first. I guess it doesn't matter, but there's something about leaving X and then picking up, leaving Pearl and then picking up at X, which is kind of exciting for me. You know what I mean? Like this. This is where we left off. This is her. Okay, now it ends, and fucking, and her husband comes home, Henry. And I remember thinking the first time I saw this, when I got home, I said, so is Henry the name of the old man in X? Did he stay with her?
Yeah.
He did. It is him.
Yeah.
He fucking went away to war again, he said. But I mean, so he stayed. So like Francesca's watching it with me. She goes, I feel sorry for him. I go, and when he comes back at the end, he sees the mess that she's made.
Yeah.
And what. And he's like, I feel sorry for him. I go, just wait till you see X. Then you're going to see you really feel sorry for him. Everything else, he stays. He must love her, or he's afraid to leave her, or something. But it's just kind of cool to see one end and the other pick up where it is. But man, here's what I noticed last night. She drinks the morphine. She goes to pick up the medicine.
At the theater, yeah.
In the fucking theater. This is my 4th time. You know what I noticed? I didn't. Francesca said it to me. She said, did she just drink the medicine? I was like, what?
Yeah.
Wait, I had no one. I'm like, why? And then I go, what is the medicine? Morphine. I go, well, it is a painkiller. I go, maybe she just wants to take a fucking, it's just saying that she's fucked up and this numbs her, maybe? Makes her happy?
Yeah, that's how I took it. Yeah, I thought the same thing. It's just a little nuance. Like they just decide she takes a little swig of dad's medicine.
Right. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. And I think that she rocks the hat well. Who would have thought that fucking dirty scarecrow hat is going to fucking look good on her? Although maybe I'm just particular to her and I think fucking she'd look good in a potato sack. I don't know. But I think it suits her when she's wearing that black hat and that fucking red dress when she goes and she visits the fucking projectionist, which he's cool too. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. I agree with him. Like he's in like this girl's batshit crazy. I'm getting the fuck out of Dodge.
He figures it out at that point.
His death, is the way she does that is fantastic. Boy. With the pitchfork, beautiful. And the interaction, like that scene when she brings dad down to the dock. And you could just see like he can't do anything about it, but his expression, he knows what she's trying to do.
Sure,
it's just so unsettling. And almost like the mom knows what she's doing too, but
which is great.
Even though she's trying to help the mom, in a sense, mom's like, nope, bring your father back, and we can't. Right. We gotta keep doing what we're doing and whatever, which I think just makes her resent her mom even more, and then I guess just leads to the further blowout. Like obviously her not being supportive, and she does live in her own head. We get that throughout the whole movie, and that whole sequence with the mom, well done, well shot. Like the whole fire blaze
at the dinner table.
Yeah. Oh,
dude, outside of the fucking 8-minute monologue that she does later, that's the best part of the movie for me. Her great acting all around. The mother's great too. When they have that argument, she goes off and says all that stuff, and she goes, I wanted to be, fucking. He's supposed to be my husband. I'm not supposed to be his mother and all this. And she goes off and then she says everything that fucking, that you've done. I've seen what you've done and I know what's going on. And then we figure it out. Like, okay, that's what, yes, she is strict and I know there's work to be done here and I respect her for it. But I understand why she's extremely strict because she doesn't want her, not because there's disease out there. She's afraid of bringing it back again. But she's also, she knows that fucking something's wrong in her daughter's mind. She's like, I'm not going to let you on this farm, off this farm. And she tells her, you're going to go. And she goes, and when you fail, and you will fail, all that, dude, that fucking argument at that dinner table rivals the fucking, the argument in fucking Hereditary when fucking she's yelling at her son. I think it's fucking brilliant. The only reason it's overshadowed by fucking her monologue later because that's just fucking. You talk about Oscars.
Monologue, well, that's it. That's the shot.
Yeah.
It's just on her.
Yep.
Like that only cuts back to.
It cuts to Mitzi twice, but still.
Well, there you go. All right, this does cut back. But I just realized that we're on her for quite a long time.
Oh yeah.
And just her nonchalantly just explaining everything. Like,
awesome.
That there's no issue with what she's done almost is
but there is it isn't that there's no issue. She says I have something inside of me, something is wrong with me, I'm missing a piece that everyone else has. She knows it, but she also could admit that when she did do the killings, it did feel good, but she knows something is wrong with her and she doesn't want to be this way, which again is fucking sad. It's a look at mental illness. And again, fuck, her screaming and shit. She's the total package. The fucking way she screams in this movie, this girl can do it all. My God.
No, she does. And then the whole sorry.
Ha.
the whole Missy death is really well done as well, because you can see the trail of blood that down the path and everything. It just, again, of course you do, but I just say those are like the little touches that are put in that just add to it. Like, totally different tone, totally different feel than X.
Oh yeah.
Both movies are fantastic. I again though, I have a feeling, like, I saw X, I really enjoyed it, but this one I think is a better movie for me.
Oh yeah. 100%. It's 100% a better
You
movie.
agree too? Okay, there you are.
Yeah. As much as I love slashers, this is just a better. Yeah, there's no question. And she, as great as she was in X, because she's playing two roles. She's playing fucking Maxine, and then she's playing Pearl in makeup. And again, that's something else challenging, which you saw her do. You're like, oh yeah, there you go. And I'm excited. I remember X, and I probably told you early in the year that when X was coming out, finally Mia Goth is getting a starring role where she's fucking front and center. And not only was she front and center, she played two fucking roles. This movie, she's 100% fucking front and center, and she fucking nails it again.
Nails it. Like,
the father's acting is great. Just with the fucking looks.
His eye acting.
Said there.
Like, exactly. He expressed fear. Like, to how, like, I don't even know. Like, you can't, it's just, it's just like he can't move. And the mom is, everybody in this movie is fantastic from an acting standpoint.
They really are. And when the father cries later on because he knows that his fucking daughter's sick, you know what I mean? And I don't even think he's crying because he knows he's probably going to kill her. I think his fucking heart is broken because now he's seen. Maybe he didn't know how fucking sick she was, what the mother knew. Now he's like, oh, she's completely off her fucking rocker. She's done this, this, and this, and my poor daughter. And he fucking cries. That's like, oh, fuck, that's fucking impactful. He's great. With the tears.
Whole dinner scene at the end.
Oh, dude. Oh, dude. That shit's fucking amazing. And that's what's great about this is that we don't really see the gore in fucking Mitzi's kill, but you see the aftermath after. Fucking the beheading, the arms, the blood, and shit, and you see him preparing, you know.
But it's so, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was done, like, the choreography, if you will, of that scene, from how they filmed it to how the actors had to act to seeing the blood trail back there. That's what I'm saying. Like, she comes down and she chops on her like a couple of times, and it's almost like, did I just get hit? Like, obviously she knows she got hit by something, and then she's still sort of trying to get away, and then she can't get away anymore, and then you just notice that there is blood that trailed down there. So again, just the construction of that is really well done. And it's
very well done. I don't think Ty West has fucking done a better job at directing. I just think that all this stuff lines up just perfectly, and I have enjoyed most of his work. But I think this was just like fucking
Sacrament.
I'm angry at the Sacrament. It angers me. Funny thing is, I don't think it's a bad movie. If Jonestown ever existed, it would actually be a great movie. But you know, that's a whole other story. We don't have time for that. But I just, you know, here's what's good about this. Everything that's said to her, she brings it back and she does it in her own twisted way. Like he keeps telling her. He says, "Don't let anything stand in your way." About, you know, you have your life, but don't let it stand in your way. And this resonates with her. And then later on, there's other things that are happening. You know, when she says, her mother's telling you you're gonna fail, and then my disappointment every time I look at you, this and that. She turns that around and says it later on to her mother. She goes, when her mother's fucking dying, and she goes, you know, and now every time fucking you look at me now, that's how I felt when I looked at you. So she turned it back around on her mother, and then later on, when she was talking about maybe killing her father, thinking about it with the fucking with Theta, the fucking gator, she says to her, she goes, "It's not about," and I wrote this one down. "It's not about what you want. It's about making the best of what you have." And that's what she says to her, to Mia. Pardon me, to Pearl. But then later on, right before she axes fucking what's her name, she says it to her, to Mitzi. She goes, it's not about what I want, it's about making the best of what I. So she takes this advice and other stuff and she puts her own spin on it. And that is something that people do. And
it's great. I think
it is great.
It's good writing. It's great writing.
Yes.
And explains the character quite well. Like, she's interpreting it in a completely different or way, or making it her own. But it's fantastic.
Even the throwaway line when he says about the masks, he says, remember when they're coming back and the soldier's walking and he has the mask on? She goes, "Is somebody you know?" And she goes, I don't know. And then he goes, yeah. He goes, and then literally he says, it's hard to know who anybody is with all the masks that people are wearing. And that can be taken as a fucking a metaphor.
Well,
She's wearing a mask.
It's exactly it. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It does so much because it's mirroring what we were going through as a society, but also exactly the metaphor of a facade and just and presenting oneself one way, but actually being something else. Great writing as in that aspect as well, and the homage kind of to Psycho when his car goes into the
car. Yep.
I thought of Psycho right away. I'm sure everybody that's a horror fan that has seen Psycho, of course, would have thought the same thing.
Yep. And then followed by.
I even said, is that going to go down? Is that going to go all the way down?
Right. And they don't show it. We have to imagine it does, but it doesn't. They don't do it there. And then right after she does that, it's followed by the only bit of comedy you get in the whole movie. One fucking line, which I pop at every time when she goes, au revoir, poor Johnny. She says for no reason. I fucking love it. It's just for no reason she says that. It's the only bit of comedy, although I do fucking laugh at the stuff at the end because that's like dark humor to me. That's my type of fucking with her with the smile and trying not to blink because she tries not to blink, but she does blink a couple times and when she does tears roll. And it works.
It's happening. I think she's going like try to do that. You hold a fucking fake smile ear to ear for long. It's painful. So and that shot is on her. I don't know what. I might be under exaggerating.
3 minutes?
2 minutes? Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt it.
It's just held on her. It's a full smile.
It's
like
awesome.
I'm doing it for 2 seconds and it's painful. It's great. And it's that supposedly that old like I Love Lucy kind of freeze frame or whatever as like credits roll, but they don't freeze frame it. And it just, again, it just sort of showcases the character one last time.
Man. It's
phenomenal.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's fucking, it's fun and it's fucked up and it's great performances all around. And I love her and she's fucking front and center putting on the fucking performance of her life so far. What's not to love for me? I'm all about it. I mean, holy fuck this movie. 4 times I've seen it. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
So there's probably nothing else I'll say except it's a full head explosion, obviously.
Full head for me as well, man. I was hoping I was going to love it, and I loved X. So like that's what I'm saying. This has been, and when I look at some of the top films of the year, like it's going to be a fun show to do the year-end show.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Having a real good year. Seriously. I'm having a solid year here, man. So, yeah. But I guess we should be the hell out of here. Next week, we're going to be live on this couch, right? Maybe with a guest.
Hannah Rooney.
Yeah.
Shocktober in November.
It's going to be something. Shocktober in November. Hauntober. Or fucking, what's the word you like? Yeah. Shocktober, Hauntober. Spooky season.
Spooky seasoning all over his face.
Spooky seasoning. Right. Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to be here together doing our thing. We're probably going to have somebody else with us. And we don't know who yet, but again, that's the beauty of this show. You never know who's going to pop up and when. How about that for a fucking gimmick?
We'll just do it a family thing. Get Francesca that she comes down from upstairs. No.
She would like to come and join. Maybe we'll have her come for a short time. You know what I mean? But we'll have somebody there. That'll be cool. Either way.
Sounds good, man.
We don't know what we're going to talk about.
I got to remember my computer. That's all I got to remember.
We'll have fun. Right. That's all it is. So, boom. Thank you, everybody. Wow, that was hard. Love you all. And, thanks for listening. And Top 200 is done. We'll talk about that more in the next episode. But, we're not recording yet, of course, but it's done. So thank you, everybody. Again, it's going to be quite interesting. More on that next show, though. So we'll be out, though. Peace out. Manchichi, Manchichi.